Okay. I'm finishing off my grapes and we've started recording. Niamh has a problem with grapes. What's your problem?
I have no problem with grapes. It was just a surprising fruit choice for you. You don't seem like a grape man.
What kind of fruit man do you think I am?
Orange.
What kind of orange?
Like a mandarin?
Yeah. I do like mandarins and I like clementines. Don't like big oranges.
Yeah, no one does.
I like small fruit. That's why I like grapes.
Fair. John.
Oh, hey.
You okay?
Hey guys. It's, I guess we're gonna record another podcast.
So yeah, John's a bit down in the dumps.
I'm fine.
I guess he is where he belongs, actually, in the dump. It's another year for the Queens.
What is this? Video? Do we talk video games?
John, I'm talking.
Okay, sorry.
So I'd like to welcome you all to our new queen, Niamh.
Hi, thank you.
I'm Bryan. I'm the co-queen. I am just joining Niamh along for the fun.
Yeah. Like imagine an evil vizier. That's Bryan.
Yeah.
Also a queen.
I'm kind of like
imagine Jafar was evil.
Yeah, imagine.
I'm like Iago.
Yeah.
I really like Jafar and Iago's relationship because like he was best friends.
Wait, am I Jafar?
Yeah.
I felt like there was a third like beautiful queen that Jafar just happened to mentor, and not actually just Jafar.
Jafar is brilliant.
Yeah, he's very good.
Fair.
John, I'm just gonna put it out there. Would you like to be a co-queen as well?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
And unfortunately, you cannot. You're, what is it? A Dork Prance? Dirk Prunce?
There was a time on this podcast when I was known as the Dark Prince.
Yeah?
Not anymore.
No.
It is sad. Your subjects cry out in pain. Some furious at you. They really felt you dropped the ball.
Yeah, I sure wasn't expecting that.
You had the hopes of thousands on your thin shoulders, and still.
My shoulders are not thin.
Niamh's shoulders are nice and fat.
It is true.
Maybe you can include that in your poem later. We got some weird emails this week.
Oh shit, I have to write a poem.
You do? Well, you have the rest of the podcast to do it.
Guess I'm gonna have to fucking freestyle that shit.
I guess so. Guys, welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. The world's strongest video game podcast. I am sitting here with your queen of 2020. It's Niamh.
Hello, everyone.
Co-queen Bryan.
Hello, everybody.
With you always. I'm your host, Snake.
Like
Punish Snake.
No.
Look, the
Like,
the Dark Prince thing is dead. I'm gonna be trying out a few new gimmicks this episode.
Okay.
I'm gonna need you both to afford me a little breathing room.
Okay, so he's Snake like the Nokia phone game.
How?
And like he's not even Snake 2, he's just Snake 1.
That's
Bryan,
true.
that is a game beloved by many. I do not get it.
They fucking ruined it with Snake 2.
I don't get
Bullshit.
Okay, well then he's Snaker Snake Patch Snake.
Snaker, Snake Patch Snake. I can't believe I didn't think of that originally. Now I just feel stupid for the other name.
I got nothing.
Nope.
No.
Not a damn thing. Guys, thank you for joining us. Not a great episode overall, I'd say. Kind of poor, kind of light on content. No real good bits. No nothing. Just kind of a real stinker all around.
Yeah, because people were like, that was a great first episode of the year. Can't wait for it.
Oh, it's all down here
Yeah.
from here. Man, people sure did like that episode.
Yeah, 2020, the year we all get cancelled. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. I feel like I'm halfway there. Bryan,
Yes.
why don't you tell us about Waves?
Waves. I saw 3 movies in the cinema this week. And
Bryan, that's too many.
Oh,
That's way too many.
that's not enough for me. I'm a cinema boy. I eat and drink popcorn. My shoes are so sticky.
What did you go see, Brian?
I saw a film called Waves, and it is directed by the guy who directed It Comes at Night. Have you guys seen that film?
Yes, I love that movie. It's
Okay.
very spooky.
This is his new movie, and it's a family catastrophe drama set in Miami.
Oh, so it's like your favorite genre.
Yeah. And
Family catastrophe.
Set specifically somewhere in America that's warm.
yeah, so it definitely hits the vibes of Miami, like Spring Breakers and Moonlight, you know, where
Mhm.
everything is almost sunset. It's in that twilight, and everything is kind of baked in a neon glow. A lot of that going on visually. Film is 2 hours long, and it follows a Black American family.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Ooh.
Niamh, I know we talked about this a lot before the podcast, but you need to get your fucking shit together, okay?
That was adorable, though. Like, if I was to do a cute sneeze, I couldn't have done one better.
This is the first time I've ever heard of anyone saying that their own sneeze is cute, and it's just as infuriating as you think it would be.
That was worse than the time you said the word "stan" out loud.
Oh my god, yeah. God, I really hate those moments when Niamh takes like a bit of internet terminology from like 4 years ago and just says it.
I mean, it's my job to be fucking wrong.
Niamh, I'm gonna have to censor your age when we do the recording because we need to maintain a youthful illusion so that the children know that we are down with them.
It is slipping every day.
Yeah.
Brian, tell your story.
We need to maintain a lot of stuff this year.
We need to maintain a lot of stuff. The illusion of youth, visual contact, so many fucking things.
Please keep visual contact on this
It's
podcast.
so important to keep visual contact.
Make sure your eyes are focused on this audio experience.
Absolutely. So Brian, that sounds like a fantastic movie.
I don't want to
Niamh,
talk
tell
about-
us about Peep Show.
No. Okay, it's about a Black American family, and you've got the father, you got the mother, you've got the teenage son and daughter. Teenage son and daughter, I don't know if they're twins, but they're roughly around the same age, 17, 18 years old. The first half of the movie is from the teenage son's perspective. The second half of the movie is from the teenage daughter's perspective. And it doesn't really necessarily have a 3-act structure, but rather it's like a diptych painting where
Excuse me?
A dick tip.
a diptych.
It's a dick tip.
It's really not.
It's
Wait,
Niamh-
when two dick tips touch.
No, Niamh, stop it.
Actually, you know what,
That's
John?
confusing.
John, could you say dick tip?
Absolutely not.
Could you-
No fucking way.
Could you say di?
No. No, I'm not saying it. No, I'm not saying it.
Could you?
It makes me uncomfortable.
Could
It
you-
fills me with feelings that are confusing, and I don't like it.
Could you say big ol' boner?
No, I'm not saying that. I think you should keep going with your stupid fucking film review of the worst movie ever.
Could you say chicken nuggets?
This sounds like a movie for perverts. I'm just saying.
It's a beautiful film.
For perverts.
So they're companion pieces.
Yeah, they are. I don't want to give too much away about the story, but it's about a family facing an awful event, and it kind of does a thing where like something bad is introduced, and then there's a decline in a character's life, a further decline, then it gets even worse, and then it goes to complete shit.
Ooh.
Speaking my language.
And it's a very difficult thing to process, and you're unfortunately in the front seat of this character's situation, so you've no choice but to kind of watch it. Then it does the very clever thing of switching to another character, and it's still about the same thing, but nobody wants to talk about it. They're trying to move on. It's in the back of their mind. It's in the back of your mind. And it doesn't need to be addressed because it is being addressed without being addressed. And it's a really interesting way to make a film.
This sounds like it's tackling some pretty tough subject matter.
Yes.
Would you say people should be a little sensitive going into it?
Not like it's a bad thing, but it's not like anything that hasn't been done in a film before as in terms of a bad thing.
Sure.
Is this a horror film?
No.
Okay.
It's just like a very good drama. And it does a really, really clever thing where the film's on widescreen, right? And it starts off on widescreen, but as the story goes on for the first hour, the letterbox gets thicker and thicker.
Oh, cool.
Like
So-
gradually.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So it becomes CinemaScope. Then the awful event happens, and the film turns into Forest Tree.
Oh.
And then the film needs to heal. And the film goes out of Forest Tree back into full widescreen.
That's so cool. That's really cool.
And the guy who directed this is our age. He's actually even younger. He's 31.
He's our age, so he's what, 20, 23,
20
24?
24.
Yeah. We're just a couple of 25-year-olds.
Just, started this podcast when we were 19.
Just a couple of...
Straight out of high school, am I right, guys?
Yeah. That prom.
Oh, man.
I sure showed Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah, and John was he was on the cheer squad.
I was very successful.
Niamh was a goth.
Yeah.
Did real good in
Also
science.
on the cheer squad. It was a very, very diverse cheer
Yeah.
squad, really.
It was one of those cool high schools, and we all looked out for each other.
Yeah. And then we started this podcast and slowly turned on each other.
Anyway, the film is beautifully acted. A lot of the actors are unknowns. Remember People vs. O.J. Simpson, and there was the black prosecutor lawyer.
Yeah.
He plays the dad in the movie.
Okay.
Oh, he was fantastic.
I think the actor is Sterling K. Brown, which is an amazing name.
Yeah, it is. That's deadly.
And the first half is about the son, and he's on the wrestling team at school, and he's kind of like being groomed to be like, the star kind of son of the family, and he gets more of the focus than the daughter does. The daughter is kind of more of a someone you more rely on rather than kind of like putting themselves forward. But the dad's really well portrayed in that, like, he's not abusive, but he is a bully, but he just expects the very best from his family, and he doesn't have like a contemporary kind of love. And
that's how I feel about this podcast. Like, as long as we all perform to the best of our abilities, there's going to be no problem. That kind of way?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It isn't a contemporary type of love.
No, it's not.
Bryan, you should watch It Comes at Night.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to watch it now. Like, I can't believe I haven't seen this movie, and it's been on my list for a very long time, and I've been an absolute galoot, an absolute fiddle, an absolute just...
Niamh, that's the kind of horror-y-ish one?
It's horror. It's mostly done at nighttime, but it's like, it's very suspenseful, but a very slow.
I'll check
Slow
it
movie.
out. I know you probably talked about it on this podcast. I just don't remember you being that into it.
No, I liked it. It's a weird one. It's one when I think the act of watching it isn't particularly enjoyable or fun, but afterwards all I've done is think about
That's
it.
my favorite kind of movie.
Yeah.
And I bought the soundtrack on vinyl. Like I like a lot about this movie.
Do you buy a lot of vinyl soundtracks?
I do. I like vinyl.
Do you have a vinyl player?
I am researching it.
That's fine. I think that's fine.
One.
I think vinyl records are fucking cool enough that you can just own them by
Yeah,
themselves.
it's nice to archive.
Yeah.
And like,
I'm
the
future
thought that
for
at
the future.
one point any of us may live in a living area large enough to
Yep.
support a vinyl player, that's a
Dublin.
beautiful dream right there, my friend. So I feel you. It's good.
You know who does the soundtrack for Waves?
Who?
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
There.
The special boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to see them branching out, and like, it doesn't sound like anything they've made before. It's really good.
I thought you were actually making a joke when you said it's
No,
good to see them branching out.
Well, like, yeah.
They have their sound, but this is cool that
You always have that, like,
this is
Bum,
different.
bum, 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 bum,
Yeah.
bum, 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 bum.
Ryan, that sounds great.
Trent is like, this is the best noise anyone has ever made. It's going in everything.
And there's like one single piano note of
Yeah. Ghosts 1 to 4. Is there like no copyright on that album? Because that's an album I always hear used in ads, and I wonder, is it one of those weird albums that just anyone can use?
He pulled a Moby.
Yeah.
He did put it all up on his website
Yeah, he
at the
did.
time, but I don't know if it was royalty free.
Yeah. Man, I always... What do you guys think of Moby?
I think he's kind of like, you know, when you see a New Yorker comic strip and you're like, for fuck's sake. That's what Moby is.
Bryan, what was the name of our imaginary New Yorker comic strip?
Pathetic fallacy. There was one where I remember there's one you drew, John. Sorry, this is John and I's blog spot from 2011 where we drew New Yorker comic strips.
Was it pathetic fallacy or was it something fallacy?
It was pathetic fallacy.
Pathetic fallacy.
And one of them was a dog, and the owner was putting a leash on the dog, and the dog was going, "Oh, how uncivilized."
It was basically like a bunch of comics we drew that were that real, just safe New Yorker humor. I wonder can people still find that?
I might still have them archived somewhere.
Okay.
I think there was another one where it was two people in an elevator, and one of them goes, "Did you know this lift goes to the basement?" Just absolute shite.
It was pretty good. I think that you drew one, Bryan, and it was like a dog in an air balloon or something.
Oh yeah, that
And
sounds.
I can't remember what the dialogue was, but
it was probably like, "Will you hurry up?"
Yeah, it was. It was when that's the height of both our creative achievements,
Yeah.
and it's kind of all been shit since that.
Yeah, so like Moby, it exists and people like it. We don't.
But no, I always think of Moby because of that heavyweight episode. You guys ever listen to that podcast?
I've listened to the podcast, but not the Moby one.
Oh, it's a good one. It's about Jonathan Goldstein's friend, and he has his life basically never really worked out, but he always remembers this one time who he gave like this CD to a musician, and the musician ended up sampling it, and that ended up becoming Moby's first big hit. But Moby never gave him that CD back. And so it's Jonathan Goldstein's friend going on a quest to get this CD back. And it ends with a very emotional conversation with Moby at the top of a skyscraper. Moby explaining how he wants to kill himself.
What?
Why? Moby, what are you doing?
Because Moby's Moby, right? But he's not Snoop Dogg or Madonna. And so he feels like a failure.
I mean, we're all failures compared to Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
He's so good at it.
He's very good, isn't he? His niece is Sasha Banks.
He was in the L Word.
Was he?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he was Snoop Lion, and then that was successful, and then he went back to Snoop Dogg, and it was fine. There was no backlash.
That's because no one's gonna be like, Snoop Dogg's full of shit. Like, no one's ever gonna say that.
No.
I don't even like his music, but I think he's cool.
Just
Guys, I spent a lot of time watching a lot of old kung fu movies recently.
okay.
And I went in thinking that Jackie Chan's Drunken Master is the greatest kung fu movie of all time. And I got some news. Jackie Chan's Kung Fu Master is the greatest kung fu movie of all time. Have either of you seen it?
Yeah.
It's
a very long time
so much
ago.
fun, and it's so weird and creative and silly, and like just the choreography, and it's like fucking brilliant. But there's other really good stuff as well. There's one called Snake and Eagle's Shadow, and you can watch that on YouTube whenever you want. It's just there because the Shaw brothers gave up.
Did you watch any of the films with Pai Mai in them?
I probably did.
He's the guy that's in Kill Bill Volume 2. He's like a eunuch monk who's like very good at kung fu. He's in a lot of kung fu films, but like he's been played by a bunch of different actors.
Yes, okay, so the next one I have lined up, it's like, it is basically the character from Kill Bill.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's that. But I watched 5 Deadly Poisons or 5 Deadly Venoms as well, and that's a really well-regarded one. I didn't like it so much. It was kind of like a detective story about kung fu, but to me, when I'm watching a kung fu movie and someone isn't getting like their fucking head kicked in, I'm kind of like, come on.
It's a wasted
Sean.
opportunity.
Detective kung fu story. What does that sound like? Where no one's getting their head kicked in. Yeah.
Your favorite thing.
Well, Niamh, Shenmue is Japanese karate, so it's completely to accept.
Okay, well then let's say martial arts because that's like a overarching
Well,
brand.
okay, well then we're changing the conversation. We're just changing the parameters of this conversation as much as we want, and nothing means anything. Might as well be talking about fucking flying horses or some shit, Bryan.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, okay. But Yeah, I found out some weird stuff about like. Do you guys remember that old series Kung Fu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one with David Carradine's in it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
David Carradine had never done any Kung Fu at all. He had only heard of the word Kung Fu twice before the audition for that show.
How did he?
Because they originally wanted to cast Bruce Lee until, and I quote, they thought he looked too Asian. And so they casted David Carradine instead. And David Carradine was apparently high for the entire audition, so he spoke very slowly, like this. And they were like, wow, he's so zen. And so they gave him the part.
Okay.
That's because David Carradine apparently looked a little Asian, but not too Asian, which is so gross. Like, holy shit. Like, imagine if we'd gotten a TV show with Bruce fucking Lee in it. You know? Like, man.
Well, he was in Green Hornet.
You know what, Brian? How about you shut the fuck up for once, okay? I think I've never seen Green Hornet. I should.
It's good.
But yeah, it was fun, like, revisiting them all, and like stuff like Enter the Dragon, and like I think what, like, I watched Fist of Fury when I was little, and it was like a fun movie, but then seeing like the kind of, I want to say like nationalistic appeal, but that's such a like, that word comes with like negative connotations. Seeing how like hey, it's cool to be Chinese, it was really, really cool. Like yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of old. If people are interested, they should just look up, like, find a list of good kung fu movies and look them up on YouTube, because most of them are there. Like, it's insane how many of them you can just watch now, and it's only really the big ones, like, you know, the big Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee ones that are still being like sold today that you can't get. But it's cool. Brian,
Yeah.
tell us about 1917, another kung fu movie.
1917 is a World War I movie. I watched this a week ago, and I enjoyed this as well. It was a very good film. It's directed by Sam Mendes, who is one of my favorite directors. Made Skyfall, American Beauty, Jarhead.
Jarhead's cool.
Yeah, Jarhead's cool. So he's made war movies before, and I'm not super into war movies. Like, most of them I just think are just like military propaganda. I like war movies where like it is very much a bitter take on war.
Yeah.
And there aren't that many movies about World War One because there's no nice stories to tell, and that's kind of what this film is about. It's just about, it follows two lower ranking soldiers. I guess they're I'm not sure what class they are. I don't really know army classes. Didn't really recognize the actors, but one of them turned out to be King Tommen from Game of Thrones.
No way.
So I'm glad he's still going. I'm glad he's still in movies.
So young, really young. Then.
Yeah, really young. And it's them in it's a day in the life of them in 1917 in April.
Oh, just a single day.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
and it's all done in one take, kind of like Children of Men.
Right.
And I thought it was just going to be like a technical show off kind of movie, but it isn't. And they actually do the one take thing, and it kind of feels very effective because, one, they want to draw you in, but it keeps you in the moment the entire time, and it does feel like a cinema experience that doesn't feel like cheap or disposable, which was kind of my worry about it. But you follow these two soldiers. Big name British actors come into it, like Colin Firth and Benedict Cumberbatch and Mark Strong and stuff like that, but the camera is always on them. Those actors will walk into shot and walk out of shot, but the camera never like points at them.
They're never the focus.
Never. And they're only on screen for like 5 minutes each.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and they hide the like the film isn't all done in one take, and they hide it with a lot of overlays and stuff like that. But it's done super well, and they built these massive outdoor sets, and they do a great thing where like it starts off. I think it's like the northeast of France, kind of near towards Belgium, in part of no man's land. But there's very few like deaths in the film because it seems like a lot of that has already happened. They're walking over battlefields where there's just corpses everywhere, and it's just like kind of like the worst of the war is over. It's still going on, but these are kind of like the remaining soldiers, and all they have to do is kind of get from point A to point B to deliver a message because the phone lines are down and they have to hand deliver an important message about a potential ambush. And it's a very simple story, and it's told really, really effectively.
How like actiony is it?
Not that much.
Okay.
I'd say it's about an hour in before a gun is drawn.
Cool.
It's more just like, it's more about the sneaking and kind of like the two characters kind of like bonding, and they each get a bit where they kind of get to like tell a funny story, and like they're very much just like two guys who don't want to be there, but it was either becoming a priest or being a soldier. Like it's not, and like they're very like dismissive about like getting a medal because it's just a piece of tin and ribbon. My only kind of experience with World War I is like the poetry of World War I, and that's very similar, where it's just people being very like dismissive and regretful about serving in World War I.
Yeah.
And that it was the generals making all the decisions and they didn't give a shit about anyone.
Do you ever see the 4th season of Blackadder?
Where they're just sent out to die.
It all takes place in like the trenches of World War I.
Yeah.
And it's really absurd and silly.
And then the last episode,
it's like the fucking best ending to a TV show ever. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I thought that did a really great job of like being very funny and then capturing the misery, and then just in the final moments then just the complete like disposability of human life in just the saddest way.
Like there's so many like soldiers who are just in the trenches, but like they're just sleeping because there's nothing they can do. They're just waiting, so they just sleep, and they're just trying not to be there mentally, even though they're there. But yeah, no, it's a really, really good film. I was really impressed with it.
Cool. I'm glad to hear it. Niamh.
I've been watching Peep Show.
She's been watching Peep Show.
Oh yeah.
Yep. This is my 3rd rewatch of Peep Show.
Wow.
Have you guys watched it?
Yeah,
Never.
I love Peep Show.
You haven't watched Peep Show?
It's something every couple of months I'm like, I should watch Peep Show.
John, it's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, all of Peep Show is on
Pitch
Netflix.
it to me.
And that's why I'm watching it. I kind of, my bit for people who haven't seen Peep Show, it's British Always Sunny.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's about two of the most miserable people on the planet, Mark and Jez, and they've known each other since university, and they are continuing to live with each other after university. Mark has a shitty job as an accountant, I think.
Yeah.
It's so unsure.
He just works in some office.
Telesales or some kind of crap like that. He works in an office and he's completely miserable, and he's a real uptight nerd. And the first episode starts with him getting off the bus and seeing a group of children around the age of 10 to 14 and him being like, oh fuck, I don't know how to deal with this. And they just chase him and they're calling him Clean Shirt, and he's like, my shirt is clean. Why was that an insult? And
this kind of sounds like something that would happen to you.
It's very, hey, I have not been chased by children. It is very UK, very Irish.
Right.
Kind of misery. Like, they live in a shitty flat, they can just about afford it. Mark has a crap job, Jez is living there rent free. Jez is a musician who doesn't make music, and he's into I think this was shot around 2002, so it's like really bad like British club music.
Right.
And that's his passion, and he just can't get a job because, you know, musicians aren't meant to work, Mark. And Mark is like such a tight shirt that he collects like military figures and is a history nerd, and they're just the most odd couple ever. It is called Peep Show because it is shot from point of view, so it's always from someone's perspective, which you would think would be jarring, but you get used to it totally, like just straight away.
That's mad.
So if they never ever need to be alone, and
I've never even seen a film shot like that.
Yeah, it's really nuts. It's like they pitched it as this camera style specifically, and that's why it's called Peep Show, because it's always through someone's perspective. So if a character needs to be alone, they will sit in front of a mirror to talk, and maybe they're looking in the mirror and being like, oh, I'm such a piece of shit, because there's also an internal monologue that you always hear as well.
This sounds so strange.
It's like, it's really funny, it's really miserable, but in the best way. One of my favorite episodes is Mark starts to date this woman, and she is like a real bitch, and they love bitching with each other. So they finally break into someone's caravan, into a shop, and they are looking at all the stuff around the place, and they're like, oh, this is so tacky, and they're just making fun of everything, and it gets to the crystal skull. And Mark is like, oh, look, a crystal skull, like, this is such bullshit. And she's just like, no, Mark, they're real. I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me that you believe in the crystal skulls, because it's very important to me. And Mark is just looking back at her being like, and in his head is like, is she joking? Do I do this? And he has to tell her that he also believes in the magical powers of crystal skulls. And it's really funny because she's like, but how would they ever be made, Mark? And he's just like, in a factory.
Okay, I need to back up for a moment.
Okay.
Is there actually something about crystal skulls?
No.
Okay.
That's just a one-off character.
Okay,
who's
sure. Okay.
Not good.
I thought maybe there was some corner of the internet I had.
Some people believe that they're real, I guess.
He has another love interest who's played by you one from The Favourite.
Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
That's Sophie, who is Mark's long-term kind of love interest.
She's brilliant in it. I really like, I think it's in either season 1 or 2 where he's ringing her and he's trying to sing the song I just called to say I love you, but he sings I like you instead because he can't fucking commit to it. And I think it's in the first, because the way the first couple episodes are kind of tame, but then it's like maybe the 4th or 5th episode where he gets drunk and pisses in someone's desk.
Oh, he pisses all over someone's desk and then is trying to dry out the pages in the bathroom because he feels shame for it.
And so
that filled me with anxiety.
And so what'll happen is, like, there will be tame episodes, and then there'll be some episodes where it gets too fucking dark.
Things get really dark, but also, like, they're both like crazy misogynists. They just want to sleep with women, and then later on as it progresses, it just shows how they keep destroying their own relationships with people.
Yeah.
Because, like, they'll be like having an intimate moment, but the inner monologue will be running, and it'll kind of make a point of he can't even be in this moment kind of stuff. And it's really funny. It's really depressing, but in a funny way. It's real comedy of life kind of stuff. They're kind of awful people, so every bad thing that happens, you never feel too bad about it. But there's also, you can see a slow progression of them, you know, having humanity.
Okay. This sounds great.
Yeah, there's like, what, like 7 or 8 seasons of it?
9 seasons.
Yeah, it ran for like 10, 15 years.
Stay good all the way through?
Brilliant all the way too. This is Mitchell and Webb. People might know them as a comedy duo.
Yeah, but they didn't write the show; they just act in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're like, it's so well performed by the both of them.
Each episode is only like 22 minutes long, so it's not a big ask, and there isn't that many episodes per season. There might be sometimes 8 episodes per season.
Right, okay.
So you will look up at Netflix and you'll be on season 3, and you'll be like, oh.
Yeah. But some episodes are real simple. I just before we change, I remember there's one where they get locked in an apartment building, but it's in the door before the front door, but before the lobby door, and they're trapped in the in-between space. And the entire episode is them stuck because the locks to the doors are on the outside of both of those doors.
Oh no! Do you remember that happened to Junkie where we used to work?
Yeah,
that was grim.
It's like a fly trapped under a glass. It's not good.
No. Niamh, that sounds great.
Yeah. Worth watching. I don't think it's on US Netflix, but honestly, good enough to get a VPN for.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on 4OD as well. It's definitely on a bunch of streaming platforms.
Do you guys have VPNs?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I do. But sometimes it makes the downloads go real slow. And that makes me angry. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Guys, I watched Jojo Rabbit.
So did I.
So, this is the new Taika Waititi film. And it's about a little boy in Nazi Germany during World War II, and his best friend, his imaginary best friend, is Hitler, played by Taika Waititi. And I didn't really know what to think about this film going in. I'm a big fan of Waititi's stuff. I really, really like pretty much everything else he's ever done. I had like kind of concerns going into this movie where I thought like it was going to be, I don't know, just like, I'm gonna play a silly version of Hitler and won't that be like hilarious? And that left like a bad taste in my mouth. But and it kind of was that for maybe the first 10 minutes, and I was kind of like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to like this movie. But as it went on, it's a very silly movie and it's very funny, but it really like does not shy away from like the horrors of war at all. Like there's one bit, I'd say about 30 minutes in, where you just get this one camera shot of just like, I'll say something happening in the middle of just this town square in Germany, and it's horrifying, and it's like, oh my god, this shit happened, you know, like this is really fucked up, and there's no joke. It's the first scene of the movie where there's no joke, there's no punchline, there's no nothing, and they just let that moment hang, and it's powerful, like it's good stuff. And over the course of the film, I felt like it was this very silly movie where like the kind of absurdity of war was really highlighted, but then that absurdity really kind of contrasted against just how fucking harrowing some of the moments in it were. And I like, it's not a grim movie, it's not hard to watch, it just has moments of extreme like, this is what war is and this is what these people had to go through, and I fucking loved it. Like this is my favorite film that he's done.
Even more than Wilder People.
Way more.
Whoa.
Yeah. And like this is honestly like one of my favorite films of the last 10 years probably. Like it really, really got me. And there's all these different characters in it, and they all have this like this different stuff going on. Like one of them is like Captain K, and he's like this Nazi general who lost his eye in a battle, and so now has to spend his time like training children, and he's like really super bitter and resentful over it. But then there's also this like implied relationship between him and his like assistant officer.
That scene with the German shepherds is amazing.
It's fucking hilarious. It's so good. But then like as the film goes on, it kind of reveals in all these like really subtle but poignant ways that Captain K is actually a really good dude, and that like he doesn't like any of the shit that's going on. He's just trapped in a system. And it was all like that. Scarlett Johansson is fucking amazing in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of her.
No,
but
I don't like her. I don't like her much at all.
She's amazing.
She was brilliant.
Yeah,
she was like she plays the kid's mom, and she's so like funny and strong and hopeful. But like occasionally you get to see like just these cracks beneath the surface with her. What did you think of it, Brian?
No, I really liked it. I really like ScarJo in the film.
Oh, she's brilliant. Yeah.
I really like parents who kind of fuck with their kids.
And she's just constantly fucking with them.
Yeah, just playing tricks, or like going from extremely serious to just taking the piss.
Yeah.
To try and diffuse a tense moment, because there's a lot of tense moments in that.
There's a lot of tense moments.
Yeah.
Because like as the film goes on, basically there's a little Jewish girl living in the walls of their home that Scarlett Johansson has like taken in. And but the kid Jojo is like this super brainwashed Nazi, and so he just hates her and he wants to get rid of her. And the whole narrative of the film is like him getting to know her and her getting to know him. She was brilliant as well.
She's so cool.
Jesus Christ, she was so cool. And it's this very funny, very sad movie just about like just systematic hate and like the like what it breeds in innocent people. And I really loved it. Like I've seen it twice. Like
you saw it twice?
I saw it twice. And I'd really recommend everyone go see it. I thought it was fucking deadly.
I think if I saw it again, I'd probably go see it with my parents or my granny.
I went to see it with my parents.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, Dad, we have to go see this.
I'd really like to see it with my granny because she's like 92. I think she'd get a lot out of it.
Yeah. I came out of it and my dad was like, John, that was very funny, but it was also very sad. And I was like, that's right, Dad.
Movies can be both.
But I really loved it. I'm gonna watch this again at some point because I loved it that much.
And you prefer it to Hunt for the Wilder People?
By so much. Hunt for the Wilder People was great. Hunt for the Wilder People was like,
I think that's my favorite.
It was tender and it was cute, but this was just a bigger movie to me. Like this just felt like such a step forward for anything Taika Waititi and his entire team has done, and it really it left me reeling. You know, it really, really got me.
Oh, I also really liked that it was Stephen Merchant in it, and he's playing like an Indiana Jones villain.
If you ever told me that Stephen Merchant could be scary, I'd be like, fuck off. He's really scary.
And I really like how they keep playing with the perspective, so he's even taller.
Yeah.
And then they'll cut to a close-up, and he's clearly on a stool to look like he's taller.
Yeah.
But then they'll cut back to the wide, and he's not that tall anymore. They really, really played with his height.
Yeah, the kids in it are amazing as well.
Yeah.
Jojo and his friend. There's one bit where just this little German kid just goes, "It seems I can't die," and that really got me. And I like the bit where he talks about what Englishmen do. It's very good. I could talk about that film a lot. I'm gonna stop now, but yeah, I really loved it. Any closing thoughts on Jojo Rabbit?
I thought it was great. I don't think I liked it as much as you did, but I love everything Taika makes.
Yeah.
I have to check out the TV show version of What We Do in the Shadows because I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah, me too.
It came out like a year ago.
God, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Brian, you have a 2019 movie catch up on here.
Yeah, no, I just watched a bunch of movies from last year. I saw Terminator Dark Fate, Niamh.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love the start and I love the end. It's a bit weak in the middle, but like when it's good,
it's very good.
It's very, very good. And the Terminator franchise is a mixed bag, but this is one of the 3 good Terminator films.
It truly is.
What else did I watch? Oh, I watched that film Missing Link that's like nominated for an Oscar, the new film made by Laika.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a good film.
Oh.
All the Laika films cost $60 million to make, but Missing Link cost $100 million to make, and I think it made like fuck all money back.
Oh.
But all the other movies sort of broke even or made money back in the international box office. This did not, and like...
Do you think that killed their studio?
No, because the guy who owns Laika, his dad, is one of the founders of Nike. That's why the studio...
Brian, the things you know.
No, but that's why the studio is still operational. Like,
Good.
at least they're making art. Like,
Yeah.
they're making really visually bad scripts, but you know the films are very.
What did they do before this? Was it Kubo?
Kubo. Yeah.
Which is a film I don't like, and
That's a film I like 60% of.
Sometimes I have films like that. I'm like, I like it in concept.
Yeah, it's the script again.
Yeah, and also the sound design is very bad in that film. The voice acting is very bad. But visually, oh my god,
so good.
Yeah, Missing Link is probably like it's lush. It looks amazing. No, but like it's on Netflix, so I just watched it. What else did I watch? I watched that movie yesterday. That's an airplane movie.
Okay.
The guy realizes the Beatles are gone and he starts singing Beatles and everyone's like,
oh, I saw the trailer for that and I was like, I'm never watching this.
Yeah, and so it's written by Richard Curtis, who wrote like Four Weddings and a Funeral, but he also wrote About Time, and he's good.
Wait, is About Time the
time traveling movie
about with your man
Donald Gleason?
No, I'm thinking of the Anchorman movie About Time also.
Stranger Than Fiction?
No, it's a film about a man. It has something to do with a watch. He learns to play guitar and he dates the girl in his local coffee shop.
I don't know.
Yeah, God damn it. Why do I think that's about time travel? Maybe it's not. No, it's about the woman writing the novel, and the novel is about...
Adaptation?
No.
Okay.
Stranger Than Fiction?
No. What's the name of the lead singer? What's the name of the lead singer from Anchorman? Guys, I'm really tired.
From Anchorman?
Yeah.
Will Ferrell?
It's about a woman.
The lead singer.
That's what I said, and I'm sticking to it. It's about a woman writing a novel, and the novel is real, and it turns out it's happening a person. So everything she writes happens him, and it's Will Ferrell.
Yes.
That's Stranger Than Fiction.
I said it twice. I'll say it a third time. Stranger Than Fiction, John.
Okay.
Here's the poster.
Thanks, Niamh.
It also stars Maggie Gyllenhaal as a pottery woman. I see films,
and she looks amazing. It's very good. Oh, you don't like the Gyllenhaals? No, you don't like Maggie, but you like.
I don't like Maggie. I'm indifferent to the rest.
I really love Jake, and I've recently come around to Maggie because she's fantastic.
Maggie's great.
See, for ages in like the movies, she always kind of just smirks, but
that's the shape of her face.
Yeah, she can't help it. It's her resting face. But she's amazing in the Deuce. She's got some great scenes in that show. Okay. I just watched a bunch of movies and they're fine.
What? Anything else?
Oh gosh, hang on.
I like your movie review.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So okay, yeah. Yesterday's fine. Whatever. That they released that film early because a bunch of Beatles songs were going to be up on the market and Paul McCartney was going to get them back. And they wanted to release the film before Paul McCartney could reclaim that music. And the film is about plagiarism and it's really silly.
Weird.
Yeah. I watched Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. That is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
That's sad.
And like, I saw Yoga Hosers. That is a pathetic film.
Really?
Jay and Silent Bob is below it. It's just... And like, Kevin Smith almost died. Like,
and he saw nothing interesting on the other side.
No, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to turn my life around, I'm going to lose all this weight, become a vegan, and he made Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and there's nothing to say. He's just, like...
Does it just have, like, no... I've never seen the original Jay and Silent Bob, I just saw Clerks.
I'm not a big fan of Jay and Silent Bob either.
Is it like a stoner comedy?
It's the worst stoner comedy I've ever seen.
Okay.
Like, there are some shitty stoner comedies.
Let's be real, Kevin Smith made one good movie and it's Dogma.
Dogma's fantastic.
I like Clerks.
I really like Clerks, and I like Dogma.
Okay, Niamh, you know what we were saying about movies that you don't enjoy watching but you like to think about?
Yeah.
Clerks.
Okay.
Yeah. Clerks will stick with you. It's just like, I really, really like when he tells stories, and the stories about Hollywood are amazing.
Red State was alright. It's fine.
There you go. A film for John.
Well, it was okay. Like, it was grand.
I liked the story about Tusk when he did the podcast, and then he made the film Tusk, and it was very underwhelming.
Oh yeah, I like to watch Kevin Smith tell stories about things.
Yeah.
He's very good at that.
He seems like a lovely person,
Yeah.
but just not very good at making films. No, like, this is a very bad film.
Okay.
And nobody should watch it. Don't watch this film.
You're unselling it so hard that I'm kind of becoming sold. You know, that kind of way. Like, I'm like, oh.
Now I'm curious to
Okay,
see how bad it
Okay,
is.
like, try and watch it, but you won't be able to finish it. You'll turn that shit off.
Oh, I love that. I love when you watch something so bad, you're like, I can't finish this. Then you go to bed that night, and the hate is just bubbling in your chest, and you're like,
Well, yeah, I guess if you want to join the hate train, check this film out.
I'm all about hate trains.
Yeah, but it's just nothing.
Yeah.
I watched Motherless Brooklyn. That's Edward Norton's movie that he stars and directs in, and it's a 1950s neo-noir, well, not neo-noir, a film noir in Brooklyn, and he plays a guy with Tourette's.
This sounds like a passion project.
Oh, it is. But
Don't
yeah,
mean that in a good way.
there's some good bits to this film.
Okay.
It's 2.5 hours long. That's way too long. And you could tell that he directed and edited. Like, you know, it's his film. But
Should we cut this bit? No.
No. There's a lot of actors from The Wire in it, and that's always a nice thing to see.
Yeah, I love seeing those guys pop up.
Omar plays the trumpet. You like that?
Yeah.
And Edward Norton plays someone with Tourette's, and he does a really convincing job of someone with Tourette's. Someone who gets the bus sometimes, and there's someone with Tourette's on the bus. It's a very familiar experience.
What kind of Tourette's do they have?
They have 3 frequent words they use, and then, you know, nasty words they shouldn't be saying, but it's more the tics.
Did you guys ever
And
see
they
that?
usually cough it out.
Right. Did you guys ever see that streamer who has Tourette's?
No.
She's just a streamer with Tourette's, and she just says the most foul, filthy things, but she seems like a lovely person, and she's got a large following on Twitch, and fucking fair play to her for taking something that's probably difficult and making it work.
Yeah, owning it. That's
Yep,
awesome.
totally.
But in the 1950s, Tourette's didn't have a name, so they're just like, yeah, he's just not right in the head. But he's very good at remembering stuff, and there's a bit where he goes to a jazz club and he's like having a really, really bad episode of it, but everyone at the jazz club just thinks he's enjoying the music. and then he's kind of like, he gets in the rhythm, and then like it's actually helping, and then he talks to a jazz musician and he's like, I kind of get where you're coming from, I just play it out on my trumpet.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That sounds okay.
It's a very okay film with some decent parts to it.
Cool.
Movies can be a mixed bag.
Movies can
Who
be a
knows?
mixed bag. Unlike video games, which are all good. Strategy talk.
Welcome to the video game part.
Welcome to the video game zone. Bryan, why don't you kick us off here and tell us about 2020's Super Mario Sunshine?
That's right, everybody. I bought a. Did I say I bought a special GameCube that is region unlocked and has a bunch of custom shit done to it?
I don't know if you said on the podcast.
I think you did.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it's got a HDMI output and built into it.
Sweet.
I imported a copy of Super Mario Sunshine off eBay, the Japanese version, because it costs €8, and the game's in English. Like all the cutscenes are in English. Like there's the spoken language of that game is English.
Right.
Because Mario doesn't speak Japanese because he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah. How would he?
Yeah, like obviously.
When would you learn that?
I haven't played this game since 2002, which was 18 years ago. Holy shit. And I remember at the time, it was the follow-up to Mario 64, which is one of my favorite games, and I remember being quite underwhelmed by it.
Same.
And I played it, and I beat it, and I traded it, and I remember at the time I got it Christmas morning, and I was like adding this to my kind of lifetime collection.
Yeah.
But it just never happened. And there's been a bunch of 3D Mario games since. The most recent one was Mario Odyssey, which I found incredibly disappointing, and I've thought nothing of it since.
Yeah, same, and we're the only ones on the fucking planet.
And people call it a classic, and I'm like, yeah, that game?
Like, I've said it before, but like, Mario World 3D, the
Mario 3D World on Wii U.
That is, I love that game.
Yeah,
I think that's so much better than Odyssey.
Oh yeah, for sure. Really, really good game. So I came back to Mario Sunshine kind of feeling doubtful, but maybe it'll surprise me, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Cool.
That game holds up super well.
Because I went through the same thing as you, but then I remember having really fond memories of like the weird platforming levels.
Yeah, it plays super nice, and a lot of the shines you have to collect, because in this you collect shines instead of stars or moons. A lot of them are really, really challenging to get, and you might spend half an hour trying to get a single shine. And when you do it, it feels good. You've earned it, which is something that you don't get in Mario Odyssey. And I think Mario 64 is too easy a game. I played that last year and I just breezed through it.
Mario 64?
Yeah, Mario 64.
That's because we were all fucking trying to understand how analog sticks worked.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember not being able to run in a straight line when I first played Mario 64.
Yeah. But Mario Sunshine has aged very well and is still completely playable in 2020.
Interesting.
There's a tiny bit of jank where sometimes you'll kind of try and clip Mario through something, but when you try and kind of like break Mario, it always bounces back against you. Whereas in Mario 64, if you break Mario, it's always to your advantage. You can like clip through a platform and get ahead. But with this, it's like if Mario bounces on lava in this game, he keeps bouncing in small short jumps, so he dies on the lava.
Right.
It's not like you bounce on the lava and you take a big long jump and you can kind of steer him out of the lava.
Yeah.
Like tiny things like that aren't in this game, which is really weird. The one thing I remember being disappointing about this game is that outside of the main hub area, there are only 7 levels in this game.
And they're all fairly like sunny.
Yeah, it all takes place in Isle Delfino, which means that there's no snow level, there's no chocolate chip mountain or whatever.
And I remember like getting to the ghost level as well and it being super underwhelming.
Yeah.
Although a giant manta ray comes out of the hotel, doesn't it?
It comes out of the ocean and sprays electrical goo everywhere.
In the book of The Shining, a giant manta ray flies out of the hotel.
Because of what happened. No, I think when this game is good, it's very good. It does have its flaws, but in retrospect, I appreciate this game for what it is, and I'm glad I replayed it because I always look back on that game and kind of thought it wasn't very good, but you know what? It's alright.
Cool. Glad to hear it. Yeah, that's like the best case scenario when you're going back to games. Because you have those games, like, did you ever have them where you're kind of like mixed on them, but you could still go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to revisit something like that and you actually come around on it all the way.
I like Mario, I like Flodge. Peach is brain dead in this game. She's like, she is a Mario Odyssey. She just stands there and says Mario.
Yep.
Doesn't do it like, and she could be really fucking cool if she wants to be, but
yeah,
in this she just has no agency.
Mm-hmm.
Bowser Jr. is the main villain.
Fuck him.
But for some reason you fight Bowser at the very end. You've not...
And he's huge, isn't he?
He's huge. They've not mentioned Bowser. You're like, okay, I'm fighting Bowser. Why? And then he has a cutscene where he's talking to his son, and he's like, "Don't worry, Junior, we'll get him next time."
Yeah, I remember finding that cutscene really jarring. Niamh, what's your thoughts on Bowser Jr., and just the whole Koopa Kid lineage?
I respect another royal family, and if we need to marry into them to keep this strong, Bryan will do it in a heartbeat.
I've been on Tumblr. I've seen pictures of Bowser. I liked what I saw.
Sometimes I'll ask Niamh a question, and I know that the longer she doesn't say anything, the more like fucking weird the answer is going to be. And so I got quite nervous there.
That was a really good answer.
It was a very good answer.
I liked your energy, Niamh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great energy.
I'm full of energy.
Guys, I played Titanfall 2.
Finally got around to it.
Got around to it. I bought this game at the end of 2018.
It's free on PS Plus.
Yeah, I know. I bought it before that, but I bought it for like £6.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, Bryan. And I basically every month since then have been like, I'm going to play Titanfall 2. Well, I finally played it, and I don't like it.
John, what the fuck? This is some RE2 remake bullshit. Like, why don't you like the game? Everyone, like, the campaign in Titanfall 2 is fucking class. And I'm not a fan of first-person shooters. That game is unreal.
Did you do the whole level with the going through time segments?
That was a fun 20 minutes, yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
That was such a fun moment for me. That really stands out in my head as like a cool game moment. It was a really
good 20 minutes.
Did you like the bit where you're like jumping through all the houses being assembled?
Yeah, factory level, cool.
Yeah, but it's a good factory level.
And it's really big.
Yeah, it's big factory.
It's like IKEA flat packing everywhere.
Did you like when the Titan gave you the thumbs up?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay, here's the writing in that game. Like, I've heard so much about, like, not from you guys, but just so much about, like, the story being good and the Titan being really endearing. And he is. Like, that bit's cute. But, like, there's other bits where it's just, like, we need to get out of here. And then you're like, you can say that again, BT. And he goes, we need to get out of here. And it's like, oh, that joke, okay.
That was adorable.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That's just... I've seen that like 20 times. Literally 20 times that joke. And they were like, why don't we do the joke that every time there's been a robot in any movie or piece of media, why don't we use that joke?
Brilliant joke. I really like
there was no story in this game.
He made friends with a robot.
Yeah, and then, oh no, the robot dies. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, but it's so sad.
It's not sad. It's your robot.
But John, did you not remember how in the opening there's a voiceover that says there's nothing more important than a soldier and his bond with his Titan?
Oh, you know what? I missed that line. And now that you say that, the rest of the game just falls into place. So yeah, like, the movement controls were like good. I thought the game felt like a roller coaster. As in, like, what I did didn't really matter very much. And
have you played Bioshock Infinite? Because that's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I've never played Bioshock Infinite. I don't care. But, like, there was no challenge to the combat at all. It was all just, like, hit L2, auto-lock onto a headshot, pull the trigger, do that again until every enemy is dead.
Should have played on hard.
Yeah, but, you know, it's not my fault I didn't balance it right.
I was challenged as someone who can't move hands good.
Okay, well, as the hardcore gamer on this podcast...
The hardcore gamer. Niamh, would you like to talk?
Sorry, let me rephrase that. As the expert in first-person shooters on this podcast...
Yeah, Niamh's going to talk.
It has good gunplay.
It feels good.
Yeah.
The encounter designs weren't great because enemies don't matter, because they're just paper for you to blow through.
But you could say that about Doom.
And I also don't like Doom.
Okay.
See, everyone, this is who John really is.
Oh, who likes Doom here? Who likes Doom?
I have no interest in that.
I didn't like Doom. No.
So there, shut the fuck up, Bryan.
I'm just
I don't
saying,
like heavy metal.
It's less about it being extremely challenging and more about getting into a really good flow with it, where you're kind of like you're moving and not stopping a lot of the time. Like, you're executing really well.
For me, flow is achieved through challenge.
True pain and suffering.
No, that's what flow is.
It's like when the level of become John.
It's like when the level of challenge perfectly matches your abilities. That's what flow is defined as. And this, It's not like I breezed through it. Like, I did die, but like the parts where I die, I was like, all right, I'll just replay it again. I'll run on the walls more, and that was it.
Did you play the online?
No, and like, look, fine. The multiplayer is probably amazing. I could imagine those controls, being great. But this game.
I thought it was a pleasant surprise back in 2016.
And I'm really glad, Brian. Really, really glad. But it did nothing for me. Like, it was... Now, another part of it as well I should mention is also, like, the game did make me a bit motion sick. So I'd be playing it for an hour and I'd have to stop. And so, like, there wasn't an option to turn that off. There was an option to lower the sway. There was no option to turn it off. That could have affected my enjoyment of it as well. And that's also because I play so little first-person games. So, like... I don't know if I should hold that against it or not, but that was a kind of part of it for me as well. But yeah, like, I'm shocked at how underwhelmed I was because people love the game so much. And it's not like I don't think it's well made. I think it's exceptionally made. I think, like, you know, there's a lot of really great stuff with the animation, and it's definitely one of, like, the best playing shooters. Like, it feels, like, wall running feels great. The rest of it feels great. But it just felt like a kind of empty roller coaster for me, where you just kind of go on it, you experience it, you don't really interact with it, and then you're done. Okay,
I think you should play Bioshock Infinite.
Okay, but Bioshock Infinite being bad isn't going to make me think that Titanfall's good.
I think what you should do is you should watch Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Okay.
And then play some Bioshock Infinite.
Okay.
And have a real shitty weekend.
Okay, yeah. Just no point or anything, just ruin my weekend.
Yeah, I just think maybe they're your core duties.
But yeah, that was Titanfall 2. I have never heard anyone say a bad word about it, so I'm kind of shocked that I didn't like it.
I think as well with Titanfall, there was a lot of dull shooters beforehand, and I think the gameplay was a lot of fresh air and novel
of it as well that. Is like, I got really into Apex Legends, and I love how Apex Legends plays. And part of me was like, oh, I could kind of feel like the weird backwards DNA, you know what I mean? And thank God Titanfall died so Apex Legend could exist.
I remember Titanfall 2 came out, around the time of a bunch of military shooters during that, like, late October, early November season.
Totally, and it came out between a Battlefield and a Call of Duty, didn't it?
Yeah, and then by the Black Friday sales, price had been slashed.
Yeah.
Like, it was out 2 weeks at full price, and it already a drop price then, because it just wasn't selling.
Yeah.
And I think it was Jeff Gerstmann on Giant Bomb was like, this game's alright. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And I put it in my shopping basket, and it was a pleasant surprise.
I think everyone at Giant Bomb loves Titanfall 2.
This was one of their games. But then they also like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
So they're wrong.
They are.
Yep, totally.
About Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah. Titanfall 2 is a bad game.
John, it's not.
I don't even think that. I'm just joshing.
Just a controversial human being.
Just as usual, too real for anybody to handle. Brian, Niamh. Tell us about Resident Evil Revelations.
Did I spell it that way?
No, it was spelled like that on the side of the 3DS, yes. which I bought. And then I sold, even though I should have hung on to it.
Because they went up in price crazy amount.
Yeah, they did. I was a silly goose.
There was an Extravision near where I lived at the time, and they had like 10 copies of it for €4. And with the misspelling, Resident Evil Revelations was originally a 3DS game.
Yep.
And it had a misspelt cover. And at the time, the cost of it plummeted. But now that thing is worth so much money because it was just a misprint in EU territories, so it made it extra rare.
That game's nearly 10 years old. That came out in like March or April 2012.
I'm playing the PS4 version, so it has some
PS4.
PS4.
You're PS4. on the pulse of vor stuff, aren't you?
No,
Yep.
Oh yeah. John.
So this is the PS4 version where it has up-resed graphics. Sometimes some of the gun models in the item screen are a bit 3DS-y. They're a bit like pixely.
Oh, maybe this one slid through the cracks a little bit.
Yeah. but it doesn't look awful.
Okay.
It's a lot of Resident Evil 5 reused elements, backgrounds,
Is
and
this the one on
models.
the boat?
Yes,
Yeah,
this is the boat that is not a boat.
Yeah.
The boat that is like a mall, that is a hotel, that is a mansion, that is a ballroom, that is just a
Big massive cruise liner
laboratory.
or whatever you want it to be.
It's just an impossible space. They tell you're on a cruise
I think
liner,
there's like
and
the
you are
most
not really.
fan servicey Resident Evil character
Yes.
ever.
No, this is what I want to say about this game is I'm having a fun time because it's Resident Evil and I really like the gameplay. This is the weirdest and most not Resident Evil the series has ever been. So this is after 5, right? And this is like the most horny one.
Yeah, it's weird. There's one character and like she's...
Her name's Jessica.
Jessica, and she's... I don't know what you call that swimsuit. It's like got one leg.
Yeah, she has a wetsuit with one full leg and
like
her hair hanging out of the wetsuit hood because obviously she can't have her
And
long,
like
luscious hair.
And like a butt cheek and just titties everywhere. But there's one bit of dialogue where I think you're playing maybe as Chris or someone, and she says like, hang on, I'll get my sexy little ass down there.
Yep.
And it's like, wow, like
That's
no
the
one has
dialogue.
ever said that.
That's what's weird about it. What I really like about Resident Evil, it's about like these guys and these girls, and there is a lot of ambiguity about their relationships. Like sometimes they're brothers and sister, like Chris and Claire. But romantic wise, there is usually a lot of men and women paired up as partners, like as military cop partners in this kind of mission they have to do. But they never make them romantic. They hint at some stuff, like obviously Leon and Ada have their ongoing thing, but they have never made anyone very specifically canon. And in this, they spend all their time, like you play as 3 couples, but mostly 2 couples. It is Jill Valentine and a guy called Parker, and Chris and Jessica. And you go between them, and they're a different type of like level structure, and they're trying to find each other. Chris and Jill are trying to find each other, but it is just so constantly horny. Like Jessica's just like, oh, Jill's your partner, huh, Chris? And Chris is like, yes, my partner. And she's like, oh, wouldn't want to make a girl jealous, huh, Chris? And sometimes her
I'm
camera
really impressed by this character Niamh has introduced.
Who is this woman?
Niamh, could you do just more of this character? You don't talk about Resident Evil.
Yeah, this bimbo.
Hi, boys. It's me, Sex. The character. The female character.
Sex the lady.
Sexuella.
Sexuella.
I'm very sexy.
And like that's her personality, and her costuming is really funny because it looks like kind of Bond female villains from just 1950s time Bond. Like she has a winter outfit that is just like sexy Russian, so like the really high fur hat and really like crazy boots and stuff. And like it's just so not what Resident Evil is, and it's so embarrassing. And later on they don't know how to write Jill. This is the dullest version of Jill ever. She has no personality whatsoever, because her personality in this, because she got the other opposite of the female character coin, and it's capable. And that's it. That's all she is. She's very good at everything she does, and not in a funny or interesting character-driven way. Just, I'm Jill. I know what to do. We need to go in here now.
You saying women can't be good at things, Niamh?
Oh, we can be very capable, but there's usually more happening.
Yeah, there should be a little bit of trial and error.
Yeah, but just even with Jill's like original character, Jill is always capable, but she's nearly like she's the master of unlocking. So there's nearly a little bit of mischievous delight in her capabilities.
Yeah,
like she
that's
knows
how I like to think of Jill.
she knows that she's good, kind of thing. But in this, she's like a fucking robot that just walks through the world. Like it's just boring. Parker, her partner in this, also has, like, he's nice, but has nothing really going on. And that's kind of a pity. The characters are really the weakest part, because the gameplay is really fun, and the kind of zombie-type creatures you meet on this are these really gross kind of mutations of water creatures. So it's kind of like a white imagine a white, like, naked person, but also their head is kind of maybe an octopus with a big tentacle that will suck your face if you get caught by it.
Cool.
And there's some that look like hammerhead sharks just stretched over a human skeleton. So they have a like watery grub feel to them.
That's fun though.
And they're gross. And you have a different kind of gameplay element in this where it's like it's action horror and it's very focused on the action. Each level is broken up to stages and you get like your results at the end of the stage.
Yeah, it's a score attack game.
Yeah, and you have gun mods in this, so you can put your damage up by 80%, put stagger on stuff, and see how many enemies you clear out in the end of the level. So I'm having a really fun time playing this. It's kind of silly and wacky in a good Resident Evil way, way too horny in a way that doesn't seem like Resident Evil.
At this point, I kind of just assume everyone in the Resident Evil universe is like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, just grinding
That's the
on
way
each
I
other.
like it.
And it's like they kind of like each other and they want to do something, but they...
There's no word for it.
Yeah.
I only ever played the 3DS version of this game, and that is not a fun game to play on the 3DS.
No, I played that as well, and
I can't imagine.
It's a struggle.
It's missing an extra control stick for the camera.
Yeah.
I
Eventually,
think it was one of the games they really heavily pushed the
Circle Pad Pro. Yeah. I remember there's one bit where it's like a boss enemy, but he has a speaker stuck in him and it's going Mayday.
Yes.
And that was the breaking point for me, where I was like, I don't enjoy this boss fight because he's really annoying because he keeps going Mayday, but I need to be able to hear him, but I don't like what I'm hearing, and I just had to stop. And he's early on in the game too.
He's like probably one of the tougher boss fights, and this is the problem with the two Revelations games, this one and 2. Bosses are bullet sponges, so if you run out of ammo and if you got to a point in the game where you don't have enough ammo to finish out a boss, you can get caught.
Yeah,
That's what happened to me with Zero. I'm stuck
Yeah, you're
in the
just
bat,
snookered.
and that's it.
And like it doesn't really like want you to preserve ammo as much of other Resident Evils. They're very thin corridors and you can do a dodge out of people's grip, but a lot of the time you're killing them.
And I remember Chris's sections in it as well were like, they were just action.
Yeah, that was just, you have a minigun, go shoot shit. What I did think was interesting in the Resident Evil 2 remake, the bit I hate the most is the ADAS gun scanner bit. And I think it's really boring and it's terrible, and I don't know why they put that in the game.
Yeah, that bit sucks.
When I was playing Revelations, they have the scanner
as
as part
totally
of the gameplay.
do. Yeah.
But it's integrated so much better. It's just another thing you have. So if you scan an enemy and you're basically giving up precious seconds to scan an enemy in case it might hit you in the meantime, but if it's alive, you get more points, and if it's dead, you get less points. But if your points get up to 100, you get a healing item. So it incentivizes you to scan, and it happens really fast, and it's not terrible like in Remake 2. So I thought it was interesting just to see that scanner gameplay kind of re-emerge in a different way. So yeah, having fun. I would recommend them. They were on sale. That Sony January sale was pretty good.
Yeah, there was some
it
good stuff in there. Did you get anything, Bryan?
I actually got games on the Nintendo eShop sale, but I got Resident Evil 4 for Switch. And I'm going to be replaying that soon.
Nintendo sales have gotten way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like real sales.
Yeah,
now.
because remember for a while they were like token sales, like here's 13% off.
Rayman, Raving Rabbids, Mario Battle game. That game's always on sale.
Yeah.
I've also just got a hankering for Resident Evil, and so
Same.
Yeah, I know.
I re-downloaded 7 and I just finished 5.
Yeah, chase that feeling. Mm-hmm. John, you gonna play Resident Evil?
I might play one of the good ones. Yeah.
Which one?
Remake maybe.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's great game. John.
What I feel like I'm having a very pleasant conversation here, but I'm getting some kind of hostility from the other side of the table.
So you played Titanfall 2, John. Did you play another game?
I mean, do you not want to talk about Tamashii?
No. I'll leave that to the last. John, how about you talk about this other game you played? You big proud man you are. Tell us about it.
I downloaded Senran Kagura Renewal 2.
Senran Kagura Renewal Burst.
Yeah, no, that's it.
So this is from the Senran Kagura series.
Yeah.
This is the boob game.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is an anime titty.
Well, now hang on. Are we going to reduce these women down to...
Oh, the game is already done.
Yeah,
that.
no.
We don't need to do anything.
Okay. Well, anyway, so moving on to...
John, it's fine. I own 3 of these games.
What?
Ew.
Niamh, you do a podcast with gross boys.
I know, I really do.
Okay. So I downloaded Senran Kagura Burst Renewal, and this is a remake of the 3DS Senran Kagura game.
Yes, it is.
And it's about a school full of ninja girls and a school full of evil ninja girls and the story that plays out between them.
And the story is all about their boobs and all about different sexual innuendo.
No, there's actually a story. I was shocked too, genuinely. But this is like a kind of Muso game, like for the most part. It's you fighting like 100 enemies, and it plays like a Muso game. You have your special attacks, you have all this kind of stuff. And I was drunk and curious, and so I downloaded this the day after Christmas in my parents' spare room alone.
Oh god, it's like you regressed.
Yeah.
This is some 15-year-old boy bullshit.
Yeah. Look. Okay, fucking look, okay? I built my career by putting anime videos on fucking YouTube, alright? I get that there's certain things people expect, but at some point we all have to accept that that was a thing that happened, and that's why I got to where I am now. And so if you don't think I'm the kind of person who'll download a fucking Senran Kagura game when I'm drunk for €15 in the fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, then you are the people deluding yourselves, okay? I can't be sorry about this. This is what I am. You all know this. Yes, I'm ashamed, but it's what I am.
I think a year or two ago, I would have tried to explain this and you would have gone, Bryan, no. But now, I'm glad you're more open about it.
I'm really not.
I know.
This is the guy I made friends with. This is my kind of guy.
Niamh knows what I am.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still disappointed.
Me too. You know, I really am. And you know the really disappointing part? I really like this game.
More than Titanfall 2?
I'll get to that.
Oh.
It played well. It was fun to play. There's a really good wall running mechanic. And the story was okay in an anime way, in a way that I really didn't think it would be. And like the menus were like cool. There was like a weird amount of polish to it.
There is these
And
games.
I'm kind of shocked.
The guy who makes Senran Kagura loves these. Like, he's so proud of his work.
He really gives a shit.
Yeah.
And like whatever you want to say about it being complete trash, and like it is, but yeah, someone somewhere really gave a shit. And I've beaten the entire game. I've defeated both super secret bosses, and then I was sad that it was over.
Oh my god.
So there you have it, everyone. Senran Kagura Burst Renewal, objectively better game than Titanfall 2.
Oh, okay. So I have 2 Senran Kagura stories.
Okay.
The first is one of the first games that came out in the 3DS. I own that because it's worth a lot now. It's just one of those weird things that happened, and I wanted to own it.
Leave you look physically ill.
Oh, no, just keep going.
But the original advertisement for that was shown before videos on YouTube.
Yeah, it was the Futamaki in between her boobs, wasn't it? In that way? That was the cover?
That was the cover, yes.
So they took all that stuff, because that was a big gameplay thing as well. They just yanked stuff out of there.
Yeah.
That's not in this one.
But in the advertisement of this game, it was live action, and it was a guy going into a video game shop and going under his breath, "Can I get Senran Kagura, please?" And the guy would be like, "Sorry, what?" And he's like, "Senran Kagura, please." And then he would be given the game and he'd run out, and that was the ad.
That's a really good ad.
And then the other thing is, I own one of the games on the Vita that I got in a sale, and it's the Senran Kagura rhythm game.
This is the one where you turn people into food.
Yeah, and so
But
you pick a girl.
not the water pistol game.
No. You pick a girl and your opponent picks a girl. Well, I guess in this case it was the CPU. But whoever wins, you get to turn the other girl into a dessert.
Who's your favorite Senran Kagura girl, Brian?
The Josuke.
Oh,
Or no, not Josuke.
Taijo, yeah, she's cool.
The girl
Doji.
who's... Yeah. No, I don't know. It's the one with the eye patch. Sure.
She sucks.
Yeah, eye patches aren't good.
Barry's pretty good. Like Katsuragi, she's pretty good.
I don't know any other.
Brian, come on, it's just me and you here. We can. Niamh gave me a look that was pained and withering.
Would you ever play one of these games, Niamh?
No.
It's got loads of girls in it, Niamh.
Oh yeah.
And some of them
certainly
like
does.
they're all like paired up into their weird little couples.
Oh yeah, for all the best tropes.
Oh, I can.
Isn't there like gropey girl, and her whole thing is that she can't stop groping her friends?
Have you played this game, or was that just like you just know what you're dealing with here?
I know what I'm dealing with. I've seen videos of this.
Yep.
Niamh studies her enemy.
I study, yeah.
Yeah. So
what are things you would rather do than play this?
I don't just
Would you rather lie in traffic?
like no, because it's not worth me Senran Kagura is not worth my discomfort in any capacity.
okay, well look, we're working on some video stuff this year. We'll all I ask is let's just see what happens. So there you have it, everyone. I liked the Senran Kagura game. I am so fucking sorry. Brian,
Yeah.
please, for the love of God, tell us about Tamashii.
Tamashii. This is an indie game that was on sale on the Switch and had a really cool picture, and I was like, what's this? And then I went through the shop and I had a look at the stills and I was like, what's going on? And then I watched the video and I was like, okay.
I love how Brian sounds when he's by himself.
Well, I was talking to my cat because this was over Christmas.
Sure.
But I only got around to playing it now. I downloaded it for like a $5, and it is a 2 to 2.5 hour kind of precision platformer puzzler, kind of like Super Meat Boy or Donkey Kong, whatever. And it's an indie game made by a Brazilian person, I believe, because the two language options are in Brazilian Portuguese or English. And it's meant to look like a cursed Japanese video game, similar to like Yume Nikki or like Witch's House. But it's not a top-down RPG Maker game, it's a platformer. And when this game is good, it is super fucking cool. Like, there are bits of this game where if you look at stills of it, you're like, I want to see more of that. But when you see more of that, it's actually kind of underwhelming.
Oh.
The puzzles aren't... Like, this game feels like it was made by one person, and like, you know how there's games made by one person and it's like, you know, like fair enough, you know, you can't be too harsh on them.
Yeah.
But then there's also games made by one person and they're like the most insane, like, polished thing ever. But this game...
Kind of a horror game?
Yeah, it's a horror game. And like it looks really cool.
It does.
It looks super fucking cursed.
Very.
But the thing is, the game plays like a tech demo. And we're just back from MagFest, and I played a bunch of demos in the arcade hall. This is way less polished than them. And they're charging money for this, and it honestly feels like something you would play for free on Newgrounds.
Oh, okay.
How much did you pay for it?
A $5, and even that was too much. It's not very fun to play. And it has some good moments, and I wish it was as good as those good moments, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'm looking forward to whatever the developer makes next, because this kind of feels like a stepping stone. It just feels like a stumble as well.
I get what you're saying about like one person made this, so like how harsh you can be on it, but like my ultimate criteria for any game is like, was the time I spent with it worth it? It kind of sounds like this wasn't.
There was some good moments where I was like, okay, cool, it's picking up now.
Yeah.
And then it would pick up for about 5 minutes and then it would drop.
Right, okay.
Glad I played it. Wouldn't recommend it.
Sure.
Watch someone do a let's play of it. They're probably not having a good time. Like it's not fun.
Yeah.
But then like you keep thinking the next part will be fun. Like it's kind of disappointing like that. I'm sorry, game.
I always feel shit like talking down like obscure games that no one knows about, because like you want to introduce them to people, but you also got to be kind of honest.
Like, I'm really glad this game exists.
Yeah.
Like, it looks cool.
I feel like that's become like the let's fight a boss backhanded compliment. I'm glad this exists.
Yeah, no, like, it's doing something. It's not for me, but you know, I'm sure someone out there loves this game.
I'm sure it's got really good reviews and stuff. But yeah,
and
your
like
experience.
it's got this cool mechanic where, like, you know, the last dungeon of Majora's Mask where you leave statues behind of yourself.
Yeah.
So you do that. You leave. You've got up to 3 statues, and you can leave them behind to hit switches, and you're kind of going through doors, or like I guess blocked doors of like rows of blocks that are either like vertical or horizontal, and there are these lasers that you have to stand still as they go past you, because if you move while they're live, you'll get zapped. And it's one of those games where like you'll die instantly, but it'll reload you back in instantly, kind of like Super Meat Boy. So you have like as many tries as you want. Like, it's got some good stuff to it. It's just very underwhelming.
Okay, people should check out screenshots of it because it does look really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also heed Brian's words of warning.
Yeah. Hi.
That's right, everyone. Hi. Quicktime Events. Niamh, why don't you take this first one?
Sony will not be at E3 2020.
Niamh, I think that's from last year's news section.
Sony will not be at
second
E3
year in a row.
2020.
Wow.
They got a console is coming out this year from them.
Yeah, that's a bit of a twist.
I guess
Yeah.
they're just focusing on their keynotes.
Whatever we thought about them not doing it last year, they were like, oh, it's a bit of a dry year for us. You know, we don't have anything to show. This year, they have stuff to show. They have
Yeah.
a new console, and they're still not going.
That has to mean that like this is it for Sony and
Yeah.
E3, right? Like if they're not going to show it a new console, like that's it.
Yeah, I can't imagine you go from not being at a at a console launch year to ever doing it again, because they're probably going to do their own thing. Like their state of play stuff.
Apparently, they're doing a big one in February.
Suck in all that Sony energy.
Yeah.
And
Do you think they'll do it right before E3 like they did last year? Like it was the week before E3 and they did the 7 remake trailer and all of that stuff.
I mean,
They-
that makes
they might.
sense, right?
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
kind of capitalized on the buzz of E3 and
Yeah,
people
yeah.
kind of getting ready for
I
it.
think what they'll do is they'll do a big one in February that kind of sets out like what they have left on the PS4 for the year, and hint at the PS5. They might show a controller or the box.
What do you think the controller is?
You.
Because I think
The
it has
exact
to be
same.
like maybe like there's a slight less of a bevel on one of the edges because we're getting away from smooth surfaces until we get back into smooth surfaces.
They've just introduced an attachment that you can put on the underside of the DualShock 4 for extra button. Mm-hmm. It's just, but like they had that in the Vita as well, and it was stupid.
That was crap. Yeah, maybe they'll have like a paddle or something at the back. I don't know.
Yeah, I do hope it still has that big fat middle button that also kind of
Yeah,
works
unlike
as
that
like
guy.
Yeah.
because it works as like a seesaw as well.
Yeah.
Because you can push the entire thing down, or you can rock it back and forth.
Yeah, so you
left
get
or
like
right.
3 touches with it. You get like left side, right side, and middle.
Yeah.
Or you get swipe. There's a lot of functions for it. I like it for my map.
I like it for any menu stuff. I don't like it when they're like swipe left to shoot fire because that never works.
No.
Yeah. And as part of Sony's stuff, a Final Fantasy remake delayed from March 3rd to April 10th.
So that's 5 weeks? Just under 5 weeks?
Just like Final Fantasy 15.
Does this give them enough time so that the marketing team can get more, stuff out? Is that what that is? Because they can't.
The way Square make games.
Their marketing team have been going full force on it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say this is more like polish on top of it, so probably a big day one patch if it's 5 weeks.
Yeah, because they can't polish much in 5 weeks. Really, it seems like they'd be like optimizing
Bug
it.
testing.
Yeah, it'd be bug testing and optimizing it for the patch.
Yeah.
Because the launch version of that game is going to be the March 3rd version, and then the patch version is the April 10th version.
Yeah.
That you're going to have to actually download day one, and it'll be like 20 gigs.
I guess we'll see, but I guess just going on the subject of delays, Cyberpunk was also delayed, but from April to September.
That's 5 months.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of time.
Again, they're saying for final polish.
Because they've been working on that for a while, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then,
What's your guys' excitement level for Cyberpunk?
I've never played the Witcher games. I have no interest, but I'm kind of curious about Cyberpunk.
This is the type of game I usually really, really like, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see what it is. I don't know why, but the more they show of it, my excitement has kind of gone down. I don't know if it's just the trailers were bad, but I just kind of want it to come out at this stage, and I don't want to see it anymore.
There was a lot of hype, especially around like the look and the style of it. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of the pre-release stuff they showed, like non-gameplay stuff, was like, oh my fucking god, look at this world! Like, look at the things they're doing. Like, you have that imagery of the woman with no face putting makeup on and stuff like that. Like, that stuff's so strong. And then at some point, like, you watch the trailers and you're like, oh, it's a video game.
Yeah.
You know? And I guess it remains to be seen how much of that concept they're going to execute on in that format. But I'm kind of in between you two, I think. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably buy it. Like,
yeah, no, I do want to give this game a go.
Yeah.
It will definitely be a day one for me.
I think it'll be day one for me too.
But I'm currently a little lukewarm, but would love to have my mind completely changed.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning as well, like a lot came out about the crunch time on this, because people are like, oh, this will be time for the devs to take their time and maybe avoid crunch. And it was just like, no, they've been in crunch for a long time, and this is just extending that out. So there's a lot of stuff being written on that right now. And
there's a really good account
really sucks.
of this stuff from Liam of Dad and Sons. And he was saying how, like, whenever there was a delay on a Rockstar game, it was never like to give people breathing room. It was always like, hey, there's going to be another 6 months of crunch, and it sounded really rough. But yeah, let's hope. And you know, CD Projekt as well have like they've said kind of shitty stuff about crunch in the past, like, oh, this is just what it takes to make video games and stuff like that. It's like, it really shouldn't be, because like the human cost is too high. Like, it's just too high.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that all remains to be seen, and I hope people are getting treated okay over there, and if they're not, I'm guessing we're probably going to hear about that at some point. But anyway, let's take things into a more exciting direction. Let's get fucking hyped for Byleth in Smash.
Yay. This is what, the 8th Fire Emblem character in the Fire Emblem fighting game?
8th or 9th, yeah.
Called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah.
This was so funny.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Clash of Emblems.
This was so hilarious. I was watching this and I was laughing my ass off because I knew how upset. I was watching the YouTube live and it was just
people were like
Dante
or Sora or like all these crazy picks, and it's
because the last couple have been crazy picks, so you know, I think the imagination just ran wild.
But it felt like Sakurai was kind of trolling a little bit. Like, he was like, everyone thought I was crazy to put this character in, and
you were, dude.
Yeah, the bit that really got to me was when he was explaining Fire Emblem, like the series Fire Emblem, to Smash players.
It's like, dude, there's 8 fucking characters in it.
This is how most people found out what Fire Emblem was in the West.
Yeah, totally.
This is the first time they appeared.
Man, I can remember, like, Marth was in
Marth and Roy were in Melee.
So, yeah.
And that came out here in 2002.
I can remember, like, unlocking Marth in Melee and just being like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, who's
this anime boy in my Nintendo game? Yeah. Not the most exciting pick. I think even like Edelgard or any of the 3 houses people would have been way more interesting.
I would have loved just Edelgard, but she's now been designated to a background character.
Yeah, because like the fun thing about Smash is like seeing how like the characters' personalities come across and like all their moves and stuff, and Byleth is like, it's your avatar.
Yeah.
They'll have some magic.
This is the 3rd Fire Emblem avatar they've done. They did Robin from Awakening and Corrin from Fates. And like, I get that like Treehouse has been a complete success. It's our game of the year. It's what we deserve.
Mm-hmm. We did this.
And
Sakurai listened to our podcast and was like, stop the production on Cuphead.
Like the game came out, what, like 6 months ago? And so this was obviously well in development at the time, and it's kind of bounding off the success of that game too. But it's just, this kind of felt more like the first character you do of the season 2 roster, not the last character you do of the season 1 roster.
Yeah.
Because usually you kind of end on a high note.
You want people to buy that season 2 roster.
Yeah.
Like, you want them excited.
I don't, it just felt very lukewarm. And like, I like Fire Emblem and I'm cool with another Fire Emblem character. just think there could have been a better way to like introduce the character. But then I also like it's really funny just to fuck with fans, so that's hilarious.
Yeah, like I'm not upset. People sure are.
Did you see the video compilation of the Nintendo store in New York?
No.
Okay, so whenever there's a Smash Direct or some sort of Smash announcement, a bunch of fans will gather around a projector upstairs in the official Nintendo store in the Rockefeller Plaza in New York, and it's like proper Smash fans going fucking mental. Like there's the one for like the Banjo reveal and the one for the Fatal Fury. What's that?
Terry Bogard.
Terry B.
The most important video game character.
Not anymore. Byleth. And so for each one, they're just like, whoa! And they're just like running around screaming. But then for the Byleth one, it's just like, yeah! And it just... Because there's nobody to keep the momentum. They're just like, all right. Like, they're not pissed or anything. They're just kind of like... They had all this excitement. They had to let it out. And it was 1 second long.
Oh.
And it's really funny.
It's really funny. Oh. So this is a weird one. Update to River City Girls changes the ending. Again, I think a developer obviously listened to our game of the year and changed their game after the fact.
That's how people behave.
That's how the games industry works.
It's crazy to me how maligned this ending is.
It's just such a terrible ending, you know?
Very few things change the ending. The first thing that came to my mind was Mass Effect 3 after...
I think the ending to Mass Effect 3 is better than the ending to River City Girls.
That says a lot.
Sure does. Yeah, so did either of you watch the new ending?
No, what happens?
It's the same ending. They land in the shower with the boys, and the boys are like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "Doesn't matter, let's go get some lunch." And then they kind of stroll off arm in arm.
Oh, so they're not fake boyfriends anymore.
No, they're real boyfriends.
No, okay,
Oh, okay.
It's implied, yeah. Okay, that's...
But the only way this new ending really means anything is as a response to the old ending. Like, as an ending, it's still incredibly underwhelming. And now there's all this, like, one of my favorite parts about the story of that game is, like, you're going through and the other two girls, Bryan, Mammy, and the other one,
Yeah.
they are constantly, like, insulting your characters and being really mean to them and, like, implying that they're with the other boyfriends.
Yeah, and that they're delusional. Stuff
Yeah,
like
and I thought that was really fun because, like, oh, what's going on here? And now that just doesn't make sense at all. Like, now it just seems like your boyfriends are cheating.
Yeah. I was saying to you guys that, like, that game crashed a whole bunch.
We don't know, they haven't patched that, and I bet they have.
Okay, I really hope they've patched the game crashing problems.
Yeah.
Because that's probably something you should definitely patch.
Yeah.
More than an ending.
Yeah. Kind of a... Like, maybe it's kind of shitty of me to say, but I think the real solution here was to not have that ending in the first place, because that's the ending the game was built around, and it still kind of sucks. It's just such a sour no on, like, one of my favorite games last year, and I don't think this does a whole lot to improve on it. And we have no happy news stories, so that's what we're gonna end on here.
Yeah, just video games as usual being sad.
But we have one more special section to do today.
Yeah?
And that is, guys, there's a war coming to this podcast.
Sure.
War for a crown. But it's not happening until like a year.
1 year from now.
1 year from now.
War takes time.
War takes time. The current monarchy will be... Niamh, I was thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever lost? Because
No.
I don't know if Bryan... I think Bryan has been co-queen. Have you ever won, Bryan?
Didn't I do really well 1 year and it was kind of weird? But then every other year it's like, nah, dude, you're way off. But I think there was 1 year where it was like, what the fuck is happening?
Because I feel like I've come second maybe every year.
I can't
no, I did
remember.
real bad 1 year.
Yeah, you did.
But we
you
haven't
did.
done the queenship for as long as the podcast has
No,
been going.
we haven't.
I think
have
there was
we?
1 year where we both drew, and that's where we kind of
Yeah,
did the
that's where the
queens.
Oh, I
co-queenship
think
kind
that's
of
where
came
it
from.
started.
And then after that, I just kept... It was a good ruling system.
Yeah, and,
so
and it was just like, you called Niamh the queen, and I said, well, I want to be queen too, because I want to be king. And so then we were queens. That's, yeah.
Yep, that's the lore.
yeah. So I haven't lost.
Isn't it crazy how we could go back and listen to that, but none of us ever will?
Oh, why? Why would you listen to Let's Fight a Boss?
I can't wait till someone on the Discord tells us about it, though.
Sure. Yeah, like, do please tell us why we did the thing we did.
I don't remember. Things just are the way they are now.
I like how we have a hive mind for a memory now. We don't have to remember shit.
Oh, more and more now when we come up with a problem, we're like, why don't we just ask people?
I'm going to be like, guys, what's my PIN code? I can't remember the last 3 digits on the back of my card.
But we got to make our 2020 predictions.
Yes.
So we've all...
Are we going to write them down on a piece of paper so that you can't like tamper with it afterwards? Or how do we like...
We can just say them into the mic and that'll be the record. That's what I... Like every year I write down our predictions and then I lose that piece of paper and go back and listen to the podcast every year.
Okay. Well, I guess, John, the timestamp for this will be roughly an hour and a half in. So
I'll be sure to tell myself that in 1 year.
Yeah, guys on the Discord, can you remind John?
Oh, I'd really appreciate that. So, like, say...
Episode 117.
Around January 1st next year, if someone could give me the exact timestamp for this happening, that I'd just really appreciate it.
Also, we have a Patreon. If you join the Patreon, there's a Discord, but we'll talk about that later at the end.
So if you want to pay us, you can remind me in 1 year. We're the worst. Why does anyone listen or support us? Did you guys hear that Senran Kagura section?
It's very disappointing.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I guess we're just gonna start from the top here. Oh god, I'm gonna sneeze. Bryan, stall.
Oh, okay, so and there we go, everyone. That is John's soul escaping from his body.
See, that wasn't a cute sneeze.
No, that was like that sounded like a gorilla moaning.
Hey, my body is powerful.
John's body is so weird, guys. Like he does some just interesting smells.
Anyway. Okay, so we're going to start the predictions.
Yeah.
Go on.
Niamh, do you have yours?
I have like 4.
Okay, do you want to start us off then? Actually, you know what? We'll do one me, one Bryan, one
Okay.
you. Okay, so I'm going to start with this first one. There will be any news at all about Final Fantasy 16. So what I mean by this is any piece of like acknowledgement that exists. It could be a logo reveal. It could be anything.
But it has to be official.
It has to be official, and it also can't be... It has to be more than it can't be we're not working on Final Fantasy 16. It has to be some acknowledgement that development is started or about to start. So basically, the only thing it can't be is we're not working on it, which they might say because they literally say that about their games sometimes. Bryan.
I'd say there will be no news.
No news. Niamh.
I'm going to say there will be news.
I'm also going to say there will be news. I think they're going to get that first part of the remake out and they're going to drop some hints, and boy, 2027 is going to be a hell of a year.
I think at their E3, if Square have a thing, they'll do it there. But then remember the year they showed The Quiet Man, so maybe not.
You don't need to type it if you don't want, Bryan, because I'm just going to go back and listen to it.
I like typing.
Okay, but
Bryan teaches typing.
Okay. Bryan, what's your first prediction?
A sequel to Super Mario Odyssey is announced.
Ugh, I hope not.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm saying no as well.
I'm going to say yes.
So, when you say sequel, do you just mean any new Mario game, or do you mean the new mainline Mario 3D platformer?
Yeah, I guess it's a 3D platformer.
Okay.
And it's more or less using like what appears to be the same game engine. Like it's a sequel.
In my head there I was like, but what if it's on a portable? But everything's portable now.
Yeah, just they made another 3D Mario game on the 2D side-scrolling Mario.
Yeah, the
game.
next mainline Mario game.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think the Switch has a long life cycle.
Niamh, what do you got?
Will a Switch Pro be announced? So this is a Pro version of the stock console. So with the 2 handles that come off and you dock it. A Pro version of
more
that.
powerful.
More powerful.
What
I'm
else?
Say no.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, I'm also gonna say no.
Switch, no.
The Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 or whatever it is will be in our top 10.
It's up to you guys.
No, Brian, you have to make your own prediction.
I know, but I'm answering last.
I'm saying no.
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 Wow. Brian.
Yes. Okay, I got another sequel. Or sorry, not sequel. Another announcement. I think I said a sequel. There was something about Resident Evil 8. An announcement. Capcom says something.
Nope.
I don't think so, no.
Be the wild card, Brian. Claim the throne for yourself.
Maybe in another year. Let's say no for now.
Okay. Niamh.
Will The Last of Us 2 break our top 6? This is 6 specifically because we have that coveted spot.
We do, yeah.
The Let's Fight a Spot boss number 6 spot of honor. Devil May Cry 5.
More like Devil May Cry 6.
Win.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? Gamers?
Okay, Brian, you go first this time.
No.
No, you left to last time.
No.
Go first.
No.
Oh. That wasn't even a bit. I'm just stupid.
No, it won't break our top 6.
I'm also gonna say no.
I'm gonna say yes.
Ooh.
Why?
Just to see. I'm living on hope.
It'd be great if it was good, but you know it.
Maybe.
Fallout 76 will be in our biggest shit show of 2020. This includes any potential next gen version of Fallout 6. I'm gonna say yes.
Not that it's gonna win it, but it will be included.
That's mentioned in the list.
Yes.
It does it again.
Yep.
I believe yes. I think that game is the disaster that keeps on giving.
Niamh?
Yes.
Todd Howard, we believe in you.
Okay.
Okay, it's me.
Yep.
Is it not me?
No, it's me.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
Okay. A Fire Emblem anime. A Fire Album.
A Fire Album.
A Fire Emblem animated series is announced. This could be an anime, could be 3D anime, just, an animated Fire Emblem. Could be an adaptation of a game of one of the games, or it could be an original thing, but just Fire Emblem is doing really well. Would they do an animated series of it?
And you'd say like a Fire Emblem OVA, would that count?
Yep, just it could be a movie, it could be an OVA, it could be, 12 episode thing, just an animated, a non-interactive version of Fire Emblem.
What do you think?
I'm gonna say no.
I'm also going to say no.
I'm going to say yes. Wait, can I also include YouTube promo short or something?
Wait, if it's gonna be a 5-minute ad for one of an
Okay,
expansion,
An advertisement doesn't count.
It can't be an ad for a game. It has to be like, it has to be more standalone,
Yep.
I guess.
Okay. I like this one. A next generation exclusive title will break our top 5. So what I mean by that is it can only be next generation. It can't be cross generation.
Ooh, I don't know if they're gonna exist in the first year.
There's usually a couple.
There's, yeah.
A smattering.
No. Because it'll be a launch title.
Mario 64 is launched.
It was a long time ago.
Yes.
I'm gonna say no.
I think I fucked up.
I think you just did.
Please, Elden Ring. Be a PS5 exclusive.
Wait, but is that going to come out in 2020?
I might launch, who knows?
I don't know.
Will this fucking hole come out in 2020? Will its
Maybe,
fucking
look,
ring?
I'm living with hope.
Brian?
It's me? Okay, this is sort of a similar question, but it's also a very specific one. The PlayStation 5 launches with at least one physical console exclusive game. Can't be a PS4 port.
Launches day and date with a physical game.
Yeah.
Is this a bundled game, or will there be bundles for it, like how Second Son was kind of bundled with PS4? PS4? Is it a digital game? Does it have to be physical?
It has to be a physical game.
Okay.
Second Son doesn't count because that came out 2 months after the PlayStation 4.
Oh, so
What
this
I'm
is
talking-
day and date.
I'm talking about knack.
Yeah, definitely.
You think there will be...
100%.
And like, you can't play this game on the PlayStation 4.
No, there will be a PlayStation 5 physical launch title
That
for
is
sure.
purely exclusive
Yep.
for the PlayStation 5.
No cross generation.
You don't think the PlayStation 5 is going to have a bunch of fucking military shooters?
It
and-
will, but it will have
and
their
football
it'll have
games?
their 3-hour fucking like
Order, like,
platformer,
yeah.
yeah.
You think so?
With lots of particle effects.
So Knack 3 is going to be like
Knack 3, yeah.
like the PlayStation 5. Like the PlayStation gets great exclusives.
Do you guys not think this would happen?
No, the PlayStation has amazing exclusives. Like, but they come really late in the console's life cycle.
I feel like whatever comes out on the first day will be out on PS4 as well and Xbox X.
Yeah, like
Would that not be the first time that's happened for a console though?
I think we're at this kind of stage where consoles feel like half steps. Like
Yeah.
Microsoft said that the Xbox Series X will.
Okay. If you guys want
Their
to throw
games.
away some points.
I'm not. I haven't said my answer to it
I'm
yet.
saying no because I just think all the good, like I think all the like
Cool, good
the
stuff,
system
man.
sellers.
2021 is going to be a good year
This-
for
I-
old John.
I'm doubtful.
I'm gonna agree with Brian, and I'm gonna say no. I think launch day games are gonna be cross-platform.
Sweet.
And like, there will be digital games that are on the PlayStation 5. It has to have a physical disc.
What's your next one, Brian? 'Cause I think we
This
should
is
leave the
my one.
Smash one till last.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry, Niamh.
Okay. Will Sony show the PS5 price and release date before Microsoft does at
Oh,
E3?
that's a good one.
So we kind of figure Microsoft are going to give us all the information we need E3 2020. Will Sony put on a show before or after? And will we know their details before Microsoft's?
Sony.
I'd say absolutely. But also, Microsoft have been... No, the Sony price point was revealed after the
yeah,
Xbox One.
yeah, because it was
Yeah.
$100 cheaper, and they fucking sniped them
they
on it.
destroyed them on it. There's layers to this one, Niamh.
See, I think they might try and take the thunder out of their E3 stuff by going before.
Yeah.
But I think Sony has just classically always announced stuff after Xbox, kind of undercutting any excitement.
Oh, so it's like, do you bet on traditional Sony or do you bet on them trying to steal
And
the
then
thunder?
any kind of faux
But you know,
pas.
if they do announce it, they'd be announcing it like a week before, right?
Yeah.
That also gives Microsoft a chance to answer, and I don't know that you want to do that. I'm gonna say yeah.
They're going to show before Microsoft.
I think so.
I think Sony will reveal the price after Microsoft.
Okay.
I think before.
Interesting.
You got two befores and one after.
Two befores. It's my turn next.
Yes.
Which company will fuck up more? Ubisoft, Bethesda, or Blizzard?
Okay, what's Ubisoft making? They're making a new Watch Dogs. They're probably making a new Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
They making anything else?
I feel like Ubisoft they've been alright
Yeah.
in recent years.
They've had a few of their controversies.
The last thing they really fucked up on was the Assassin's Creed Odyssey stuff.
The DLC.
Oh yeah, actually.
That was stupid.
And yeah, some Division, graffiti in there.
Yeah. Blizzard are doing real bad for themselves.
Yeah, and they have Overwatch 2 coming. Is that going to be this year?
They're going to have to say more about it this year, for sure, but I don't know if it'll be out this year.
And Bethesda, they have Doom Eternal, but that's probably going to be well received.
Do we include fuck-ups for Fallout 76?
Oh yeah, any
in
fuck
this?
up that happens this year.
I'm going Ubisoft, because, without a doubt, they tend to fuck something up every release. They just do.
They kind of do, yeah.
Yeah. Even if the game does really well, there's always something that kind of blows back in their face because they're just
Yeah,
Ubisoft.
I think their games are good after the fact, but it's just in that moment in time when you really want the game, makes you not want it.
I'm going to go for Blizzard. I think Blizzard have a new Overwatch coming out. They have a new Diablo in the works. those are both two very scorned fan bases, and that makes for very unstable ground.
I'll probably go with Blizzard as well. I think they need to fall harder.
Have you got any more?
Yeah, I've got.
That was my luck.
Okay.
I got one. This is a really specific one again because I want to do one about the PlayStation 5 launch. I want to do one about the Xbox.
Okay.
The Xbox Series X, which is that is the name of that thing.
Yep.
This is just a what if, and it's about the Xbox Series X launch.
Okay.
Not about the console itself, just about the launch. Okay. Is a critical disaster and considered a shit show. There's a serious hardware failure with the first batch of launch consoles, or there's a basic UI malfunction. But it's the public ridicule of that week.
So when you say like hardware failure, what if it's a hardware failure that takes like 8 or 9 months to show up?
No, it's got to be like a launch thing.
Okay. Do you know, I feel like Microsoft are going to play this launch as safe as they possibly can. So to me, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll have a perfectly mediocre launch.
I think they'll have a good launch. I think their launch will go good.
Yeah. I'd love a good shit show, but I think they know not to fuck up.
I think anything that would happen as well would happen over a period of time, like the Red Ring or something like that.
Because that was like almost a year later when it was kicking in.
When things were getting hot. And
Yeah.
like with the Switch drift, people didn't notice that straight away.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more that I hadn't wrote down yet. There will be any new developments on Shenmue 4. But when I say new developments, I also mean like an announcement of a crowdfunding campaign, a piece of concept art, like anything.
Okay, so
anything at all to show that to show that this is a game that Yu Suzuki is working on.
Okay, because like it can't be him saying he's making Shenmue 4.
It can't be him saying he's making it.
Because like he'll say any other
It has to be a
site.
solid step forward where like this is happening.
Proof.
Yep. And if Yu Suzuki says I'm making Shenmue 4 with no footage or anything, no. If Yu Suzuki says I'm making Shenmue 4 and launches a Kickstarter campaign, yes.
What happens if he's on stage and he says he's making 4 but doesn't show anything? Maybe shows a logo.
I mean, if if he gets far enough that someone lets him on a stage, I'm gonna say that counts. But it can't be like an internet video. It has to be a big public thing.
Where like other people believe him, so we have to believe him too.
Yeah.
Okay, it can't be him lying to nobody.
Yeah, no, it can't be like recorded in like a tiny like basement where him going, Shenmue 4 is going ahead, don't let the dream die.
No, because he's doing that right now.
Yeah.
That
So
doesn't
it has to
count.
be like a proper, this is going to be a game that's going to come out.
Like he's tricked businessmen into supporting him.
Yep.
No.
No. Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to say no. But I also, like, this isn't out of love for Shenmue. This is knowing what a lunatic Yu Suzuki is.
Yeah,
But someone else needs to believe him this time.
They did 3 times!
Yeah, there won't be a 4th. Come on.
No. Okay. Final round. The Elimination Chamber. We are each going to list our picks for Smash. Niamh, go first.
Wait, I just want to clarify a few things here. So when we say Smash character, we're talking Smash roster character.
Yeah. Okay.
The way Bryan defines it is it has to be a character that Kirby can eat.
So like Kirby can eat them and take their ability, and he looks like them.
Yep.
Okay.
So this does not count costumes like we did last year, but didn't honor.
Okay.
Fuck that.
I mean,
people were outraged.
Yeah, because
I was
they
robbed.
bunch of Undertale fans.
but like,
And
dare
a bunch of them,
I?
a bunch of them had funny spelling, and that's why you're the Dark Prawns.
Dare I legitimize these accusations of sabotage? But if we were to go by your like definition, your very broad definition, we would still be equal in points because I said Leon Kennedy would be in Smash and he's a spirit battler. So
Oh, fuck off, Niamh.
We
That
would've
doesn't count at all.
that's exactly, it doesn't count.
It was
as
a playable
little as
character. It was a
Sans
playable character.
No.
You can't
No.
play as
You
Leon.
can.
You can't play as Sans. You can't play as Cuphead. You can't play as
You
Goemon.
can't play Sans. You can't play
No,
Sans.
it's a
you
mask.
Can't play Sans. I was robbed. Everyone
if
knows
Kirby
it.
swallows-
everyone knows who the real
A
Dark
PNG
Monarchy
of
is of this podcast.
Leon is in that game. Leon is in Smash.
I want to see Kirby swallow Sans and get a skeleton face. Didn't fucking happen.
It didn't happen.
Anyway, that was last year. You two don't need to keep apologizing about how you robbed me.
Okay, so season 2 of the Smash DLC, there's going to be 6 characters. We're not going to get all 6 characters between now and the beginning of 2021, but let's come up with 6 characters.
Yep. I was really hoping that Sans was going to be announced at the last direct because I thought that would have been the most hilarious, tragic thing.
Am I going first?
You're going first, Niamh.
Okay. I don't know anything about Nintendo, and I don't know what they would or
You
wouldn't put
made
in this
one of
game.
their games game of the year last year. You know everything about Nintendo.
Yeah.
Niamh. Shut the fuck up.
Big fan.
Yep.
So, here's my guesses. Nero/Dante.
That's 2.
You got to pick one.
Gotta pick one.
I think it should be Nero, but it'll probably be Dante.
So
I'm
Dante.
picking Dante. Master Chief from Halo.
Sure.
Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. Jack and Daxter. Travis from Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes.
Oh man, I'd be happy.
This is my last one. Elsa from Frozen.
Just kind of gave up at the end there.
Yeah.
Bryan, would you like to go?
I can go.
Go for it.
Okay, so from Resident Evil, I have Leon Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
From Devil May Cry, I have Dante. From No More Heroes, I have Travis Touchdown.
Wow.
From Tekken, I have Kazuya.
Oh.
Then I have Crash Bandicoot. And then my last one is because of the success of Pokemon Sword and Shield, I have Rillaboom, who is the final stage evolution of the grass starter.
He's the cool gorilla.
Yeah, he's a
He's
cool
pretty
gorilla with a
cool.
drum. My reason for that is because they have Greninja, who's a final form water type. They have Incineroar, who's a final form fire type. I think a final form grass
That's a good
type.
one. Yeah.
And they're all recent Pokemon. It's not like a legacy Pokemon. Like, they're from the more recent games. That's my logic behind it.
Okay, here I go. Chun-Li from Street Fighter. Leon from Resident Evil. Crash Bandicoot. Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Sans from Undertale.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And I'm real proud of this one. Funky Kong.
That's a really good one.
Isn't it? Like, because it might not happen, but it would make so much sense.
You'd be like, yeah.
Because they had that funky mode, and they made a big deal about that, and K-Rool was such a success.
I was gonna pick another Pokemon, but can I say who I was gonna pick? But I'm not picking this character. Is Raichu?
I love Raichu.
Just because there's a Pikachu,
Raichu,
Yeah, but no, I'm not saying Raichu.
So let's leave that for another year and just see what happens. Emails.
Did you know that we have an email address? It's a digital address on the internet.
I did actually know that. If basically the way it works is you write this address on an envelope and put it in one of them there post boxes, and it'll reach us. And that address is askletsfightboss@gmail.com. Just write it in good, strong ink so it doesn't rub off or anything like that.
Yeah. Make sure you type out your email on a computer so that it's nice and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Print it off, and then maybe if you can copy the typewriter style lettering onto the envelope.
And
Thank
do you have any advice for how our readers, our listeners can navigate the postal system?
Type all your emails in caps and in bold and double space it, then print it out, then take a photo of that and send us a JPEG.
Oh yeah. Oh, as well, if you're not sure if you've written a good email or not, you can always send it over the computer to your friend, and they can review it, and then they can give you the thumbs up, and then you can print it out and
We
physically.
even have them print it out and send it to you, and then you send it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's loads of ways to do it. Ask let's fight a boss at gmail.com.
Yeah. A real physical place.
Okay. I guess. Brian, are there any emails jumping out at you?
No, I can't
We
read.
promised the poem one earlier.
Oh my god, I'm not doing that one right now.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
have
it's
the
okay,
emotional.
I'm doing it, sweetie. It's okay.
I gotta.
Niamh, is there any you'd like to read?
Does you want to read the poetry one, Brian?
No, there was one where I had to make a poem, and
Oh, okay.
I do want to do it. I can't do it this episode. I'm not in the right headspace for it, unfortunately. And I do want to do it justice.
This is from Adam. And Adam says, "Hi, Niamh, Brian, and Joho." He spelled both my name and Brian's name wrong. In the mukbang episode, you guys rated the Mario cereal a 5 or 6 out of 10. What cereal is the best and what is the worst?
Oh, I think Crunchy Nut Cornflakes is a strong contender for best.
Yeah, I agree.
Just extremely solid, consistent cereal.
Kind of like just shoots like knives in between my gums. Just kind of crunchy, too crunchy.
Yeah, very sharp.
Very sharp.
So, is that a good cereal or a bad
A
cereal?
great cereal.
It's a great cereal, but
Okay.
kind of sharp.
My favorite is like Frosted Wheats. That's a fucking brilliant time.
Frosted wheat is good as well.
Frosted Wheats is good, but do you ever get like the just block of sugar?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. It
Oh.
feels weird on my teeth.
That's called a strong Saturday morning. Oh, that makes me go so big.
Oh my god.
Wow.
No, like
okay.
I'm physically big. I'm just like, and they're like, you're gonna break the couch because you're too big. I'm like, yo, because I had the big piece of food.
Okay, what about worst?
Special K, fuck that.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Special
my
K.
god, I eat so much Special K.
Yeah, that's,
You eat so much Special
I love
K.
Special K.
Really?
Special K and a little bit of honey. It's fucking
no,
delicious.
no,
shit's
just
like cardboard.
Special K. Okay, so John is the kind of person that eats Special K. Everyone, he's eating Special K.
Yeah,
while
I
playing,
have to have something to eat while I'm playing my Senran Kagura.
and hating on Titanfall 2.
Bad game.
Bad cereal. Special K is for
Special K is great. You guys are insane.
No.
fucking. It's more like
But
special.
like, you have to have some honey with it.
Special K, more like Special J. Am I right, guys? Look at this fella here.
So there is an old post on my Twitter that has me holding a Special K, and I say that exact line.
Yeah.
It was before people knew who I was, so no one ever saw it.
Good.
Please don't even go back and find it.
Don't go through John's Twitter history.
I don't want to be cancelled.
We're gonna be cancelled this year.
I know. I already am after that Senran Kagura section.
Hey, I'm so sorry, everyone. I was not prepared for this part, and usually I have like a bit.
Okay, I like this one. This is from Josh, not to be confused, and it's called it's about disappointment. Hey guys, since Shenmue 3 broke John's heart, I was wondering if Brian or Niamh have ever been that disappointed or upset by anything in any form of media that they highly anticipated.
Ooh.
Most recently, Rise of the Skywalker. It made me really question if I actually like Star Wars at all, and I felt pretty much depressed for probably a week afterwards.
The third Hobbit movie was a real fucking downer for me. I wasn't I didn't know what to expect, but I was still disappointed, even though I wasn't looking forward to it that much.
Did you enjoy the first one?
I really liked the first two films, and that third movie is so bad that even though I wasn't excited for it, I was still extremely disappointed to the point where I was angry. Like, that's how bad it was.
What about games for you guys? Anything come to mind?
Eek the Cat on Super Nintendo is a terrible game.
Oh, that sucks, that game. Yeah. And I wanted to play it so bad.
Me too.
And I
Don't.
rented it one weekend and just awful.
Rise of the Robots I thought would be good, but now in retrospect,
That is
that's a weird special game. That,
Yeah, it's a very special game.
Yoshi's Story on N64 is very disappointing, but not like enough to like make me really.
It's not a heartbreaker.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't think I've been so disappointed. I've been heartbroken
Really?
with a game. Like, I've been like, oh, that's not great. Like, the first time I played Dragon Age 2, I was like, oh, okay. Not what I wanted. Ooh, wait, no. Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Really?
Is that bad?
The first one is just brilliant, and then the second one just never reaches those heights, and it's like the second one it looks so much better, and it has a great setup, but it just kind of peters out towards the end. Right. I don't know, the twists in the original Knights of the Old Republic are kind of amazing.
I think I heard something about Knights of the Old Republic 2 having like a bad development cycle and shit just kind of disappearing, like funds like not disappearing but like just running out, and them having to make some tough decisions.
I'd believe it. And it's like, it's not that it's awful. I think just after the first one.
Yeah. You know what? The Last Guardian. I love Ico and I love Shadow Colossus. Last Guardian is frustratingly disappointing. Didn't break my heart, but it made me really fucking angry. It's a bad game. Yes. I was just looking at this one.
This is from Amy. It's titled Former Dark Prince Fan. If I may, I'd like to ask Niamh if she could read this in her most cold and devastating voice. I want what I'm about to say to really sting. Jam. The delusional faith in Yu Suzuki was bad enough. The choking during the tiebreaker was bad enough. But do you know what really gets my goat? It's that you uttered the words, I knew I would lose. That is the biggest slap in the face to your loyal and long-suffering supporters who have believed in you and rallied behind you since the beginning. Has all that shonen you've watched taught you nothing? You're not a prince. You're a jobber. You made a fool not only of yourself but of all the Dark Court as well, and we all deserve it. I, for one, am ready to take off my jester's cap and acknowledge the true power on this podcast. Long live the queens, glorious be their reign. Your new subject, Amy. Thanks, Amy.
Yeah,
nice email.
Amy, that was so sweet of you. Thank you. She's a lovely person.
Really nice.
Amy, that fucking stung. Look, when I said I knew I'd lose, I didn't mean knew I'd lose the crownship. I knew I'd lose the stupid name game.
He meant the crownship.
No, I didn't want to do. Like, I cut out so much of us being like, well, I don't know what we'll fucking do. I had all these amazing suggestions, and even Bryan didn't want to do. Hey, there was other suggestions. I made other suggestions.
All the suggestions were video based. We had to do it via vocals.
They didn't have to be. We just.
The one with the most likes was the naming the characters, and the one with the second most likes was fighting each other physically. So
I would have been down to do that. That would have been fine.
John, I'd kick your ass in a physical fight.
He probably would.
Take off my shirt and I'd go.
I know. If you describe your tactic, you get fucking naked and you be weird. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I know how many fucking supporters I lost from that thing, but that's fine because now my Dark Court is filled with the purest, most evil beings possible.
Yeah, the jizz babies.
Shut the fuck up, Bryan. They are the hardcore, the elite, and I had no room for weaklings that would have any room for you two pathetic fools in their heart. So, Amy, I'm sorry. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I'm glad you're fucking gone.
Amy, welcome to the Super Beauty Cuties. We have never lost. We will never lose. Welcome to the warm embrace of brilliance.
You are in good company here, Amy. You are free from Snake and his weird Southside serpents, or whatever they're called.
Thank you, Bryan. Thank you for acknowledging my
Was
bit.
that cold and devastating, do you think?
Yeah, right.
I think...
Honestly, I've heard Niamh be more cold and devastating when she's like talking about something I like.
Oh.
Yeah, she'll fucking break it wide open.
Oh yeah, totally. We take one more. How are we feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to find one with my eyes. Oh. Oh no.
I'm going to cut this bit out so Niamh say something like just incredibly controversial. Oh God. First thing that comes to mind.
I regret saying dick tip earlier. I thought I went too far and I feel bad about it, but I don't really know what to do. Should I get John to edit it out? Probably not, because who knows? There you go. That's my inner monologue right now. Was dick tip was too far? Was a dick tip too far?
So Niamh, ironically enough, I don't think it was too far earlier, but this is definitely too far.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving it all in.
Okay, I've got a quick one here from Joey, and it's a shining question. So here you go, John. Here's a scrap.
Wow, okay.
The Overlook Hotel. This is from Joey. Also, sorry, Joey. I just want to say to Niamh, I will do the poem. I just need to get it. I don't want to hype it up or anything. I just want to.
Wow, first fucking rule of the Super Beauty Cuties, and this sucks.
We're having an off day.
Yeah,
that's fine. It happens.
Look, I'm real drunk from the fucking Queen party we had. It lasted 2 whole weeks, and I can't find my underpants.
I didn't appreciate that party at all. I didn't like my cage.
That's because you got so small, and we got so big. And you're so small.
Brian, what's going on over there?
We're big, and you're small.
Okay.
And big boys are big queens, and small poos are you flush you down the toilet. Just trying some words out.
Okay, just trying a bit.
Yeah, just trying an unsuccessful thing.
It's vocal warm-up. It's fine.
Yeah, this is all being recorded.
This is from Joey.
Yeah, okay, Joey. Hey, man, Overlook Hotel. Hi, guys. If you were in charge of the Overlook Hotel for the winter, what would you do to pass the time?
Senran Kagura is a pretty good game.
I'd probably play all the Final Fantasy games and see if I
that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll try and become a fan.
I don't think that's in the spirit of the question. I have a feeling there is no video game console at the Overlook Hotel.
You know, you got the Switch. You can play any of them.
Yeah.
There we
You
go.
can play Final Fantasy 8.
We all play our Switch.
8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
2?
Yeah. You can play... Or maybe I'll play
What
all
would
the
you
old
do,
Dragon Quest games.
I think there's a lot of floor space, so I feel like the first thing to probably do is move all the furniture out of a big space and maybe, I don't know, run?
Niamh, no you wouldn't. Come on.
If you move the furniture,
No,
it
you know
just
when you're in a
moves back.
hotel and you just like to run up and down the hall because there's just a long corridor.
I did actually run up and down some halls recently.
Yeah, it's just like I think we don't get a lot of open space that inside where you're alone, and this is why abandoned malls kind of feel cool because you could run around a place you usually have to shuffle slowly.
Whenever I'm in a giant empty space, my first thought is always man, you could have a cool fight in here.
To me, it's always, I like how echoey it is, and I'll do a deep voice, and it'll reverb the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Last night at 12:30, I was running around the apartment because I had the Zooms, and I had a great time.
Sometimes you get the Zooms.
You get the Zooms, and you gotta go.
The Zooms at Overlook Hotel. Or I'd make a very big jigsaw. Just a project that I wouldn't have to put away.
There's something kind of haunting about that, putting together a large jigsaw in a giant empty hotel in the middle of winter.
And what's it of? Birds?
Maybe something really mundane.
It's
but
that story
jigsaw-y.
where Niamh's making the jigsaw, and then she realizes the jigsaw is of her, and then she puts in the last piece, and it's a crazy person looking in through the window, and the last thing she ever hears is the sound of glass breaking.
True story. Happened to my
True
cousin.
story that my cousin too.
Uncle told me.
Fucked up.
I really like the idea that I would not recognize it was a giant jigsaw of me until the last
Well, no,
piece.
you do, and you're like, oh, that's quirky, and then you put the last piece in, and that's the lunatic in the window, and you're like, oh no.
There's a really good visual gag like that in Wallace and Gromit where he has to I think it's in a closed shave where Gromit's in prison and he assembles jigsaw puzzle, but then it's I'm gonna bust you out of prison, but he doesn't notice it until the last piece is done. It's really funny. Jigsaws are good plot devices.
Mm-hmm.
Jigsaws, everyone. Patreon shoutouts.
Do you like jigsaws? Do you want to talk to us about jigsaws?
Well, let's tell you about the first and only Jigsaw enthusiast podcast, the Let's Fight a Boss podcast.
Yeah, the final piece of the puzzle.
The final piece of the puzzle.
Patreon.com/LFAB.
That's patreon.com/LFAB. You can give us as much money as you want. I'm dead serious here. We will literally not stop you. There's nothing we can do to stop you, no matter how much money you want to give us. Now, the recommended amount is $3. But if you want to give us $800 a month...
Yeah, if you want to be that guy.
If you want to be that guy, if you want to make us have a very serious conversation where we're kind of oh guys, that's a lot of money. I don't know if we can accept that. If you want to cause us that awkwardness, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, if you really want to speed bump our day, that's how you do it.
Yeah, where we gotta all get in a call and just be like, oh, I don't know, I think maybe this is a little... Yeah.
The more comfortable amount is 300 of your finest cents. You don't... Whatever you're fine with.
Yeah, you know what? I just say it all the time, but people supporting this podcast still blows my mind, and we really, really appreciate it, especially in the crazy amount of support we have gotten.
Yeah.
And makes a big difference to us.
It really does. It's a cool thing that exists. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like an actual cool thing that exists, not like a dismissive throwaway.
Our fans are great. Like, I can say with some degree of certainty, Super Eye Patch Wolf fans, fuck those guys. Let's Fight a Boss fans, hell yeah. Oh, fuck them. There's too many of them. I don't like them.
They were lovely to you at MagFest.
They were, weren't they? Well, not anyone at MagFest or any other con I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Just the other ones, the internet ones. They're the
general
bad ones.
mass.
Yeah.
The masses.
I guess they're anime people, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But people who play video games are lovely. You know how it is.
Yeah, that's very true. Anyway, Niamh.
So yeah, earlier on we were talking about the Discord. It is honestly one of the nicest places on the internet, and that they're very hard to come across is our Discord, and the people who hang out there say some cool stuff. We have a shout out section. Sounds something like this.
This is from Vulpes Majoris. I joined the Patreon just to post how called out I was when John mocked me for getting invested in the podcast. You got me real good.
I wonder, I make fun of our fans a lot. I wonder which one that was.
Pick an episode.
Yeah. This one is from Zenkai Jordan. Be sure to check out Niamh and Bryan's upcoming short film, Let's Fight a Boss 3.0 plus 1.0. You Cannot Be Queen, and aimed entirely at John. How did he time that?
That was written back in March.
Oh.
Zenkai Jordan gets it.
See, I can't argue.
And then this one is from Right Rev Jake. Any episode with Bryan in it now is now a special guest episode.
Oh, this was after you left the podcast.
I died. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So guys, if you're recent to the podcast, it is part of the lore that I am canonically a ghost who haunts John.
Yeah.
I may or may not have a physical form.
One time Bryan got a menial bit of games trivia wrong.
I messed up Ocarina of Time, which is a big no-no.
Yeah, we had to kick him off the podcast, and it was really sad. Like, me and Niamh were both really upset.
I liked how in the Discord people were like, "Is it really your last episode?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it sucks."
That was the funniest shit in the world.
It's really,
we called it like we called the episode Bryan's last episode, and like all the comments were just like, "No." And then like people were saying like, I was just about to write a big emotional response about how much I love Bryan on this podcast and how much he's meant to be. I fucking hate you guys. And then the next episode was just called Bryan's Back.
Back, everyone. Don't worry. For now.
Don't worry. We'll never play with your emotions again.
No. Like, why would we do that? Why would someone on the internet do that to someone else?
I considered leaving this podcast after the most recent queenship.
No, you wouldn't.
I don't want to care.
That's what they want you to do, John.
Yeah,
stick around. Like
I'm going to stand this podcast out of spite.
Stick around like a smelly fart.
Stick around like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Loot drop.
We're at the end of the episode. We got some cool stuff.
I can't wait to go to bed. I'm so excited.
Yeah. If you want to go into bed, have your phone with you. You could watch like one of these YouTube videos.
The first one is from Niamh.
My one's a bit long to watch in bed, but you're welcome to try. This is from the Amazing Games Done Quick that was last week.
Awesome Games Done Quick.
Shit, fuck.
Oh man.
Now do I have to leave the podcast?
No, it's fine.
Okay, wait.
Oh no,
she's a queen. You can't do that to queen.
Niamh, you're lucky queen. That's all I'll say.
I just wrote AGDQ down.
And I think it's just Games Done Quick now.
Well, there's Awesome Games Done Quick and then Summer Games Done Quick.
Yeah,
and there's other bits sprinkled in between.
I'm not a gamer.
I know.
You are.
This was the Control run by Bryan Addo.
Love the name.
It's Bryan with a Y. This was a really, really great run. He did it in under an hour, and it's just a really good streamer and Let's Player glitching the crap out of Control. And he's just a really good. He's really great commentary. He is clearly a fan of the game. He goes through a lot of the lore and the character stuff, but he also really explains what he's trying to do and kind of the difficulty level of the glitch, and also who found the glitches originally. And I thought that was really cool of him
really cool, yeah.
to really include all this like real lore about the community that is built up around speedrunning control specifically.
I think, like, the makeup of speedrunning is really fascinating. The way you have people who excel at finding glitches and people who excel at performing them. That's just so cool.
Yeah, and it's awesome stuff like that. There was a glitch he was trying to get for ages, and he allotted a time for 5 attempts, and it was called Slidey McGunny, and it was where the model of Jessie completely disappears and it's just your gun sliding around. So he has to pull off some other glitches while she is completely invisible, and he still does it, but he doesn't get it the first time, but he does it later on in the run, and it's just a really hype moment, and it's really cool because he kind of finally gets it. There's so much in that game combat wise where spawns are caused by what way the camera is
interesting
is looking, and he explains this really well and how he's doing spawn manips to get through runs as well. So it's a really good out of bounds glitching, and also combat like swarms and control with like doing combat really well. So it was just a amazing speed run of a game. And then at the end he did the ashtray maze. Wasn't part of the speed run because he totally skipped all of that. But it was nice to see him as a big fan of the game kind of show off the ashtray maze and how cool it is.
Does he do like a behind the scenes kind of breakdown of it?
No, he's just going through it really competently.
Wow. Yeah, because like for me there's always a bit of apprehension on each turn.
No, he's got it. He's moving through it. It's so fast and so fluid.
Nice.
But if you're a fan of this game, definitely go watch this. And if you have never experienced this game, watching this I think is something that would make you want to own Control. He really shows off the best parts of it despite breaking it completely.
Cool. I got one from Keiko Cat, who is one of my favorite YouTubers, and she recently came back with a video about one of my favorite TV shows, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I have not watched it yet, but I have faith that Keiko Cat did a good job. I think you watched it?
I watched it. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's a good video. A good video on the internet, everyone.
Someone did it. Bryan.
Yeah. This is Major Hamster in Blue Diamond Temple with lava. This is a handcrafted temple made out of cardboard and pencils and stationery.
This is the new big thing on YouTube, arts and crafts with your pet.
Yeah, it's a little hamster going through it. And he gets a treat. He gets a blue diamond treat on each floor and does it like a champ. Real proud of that guy.
Fair play to him.
I fell down a rabbit hole of these videos, and they're
the new basically
hole.
the search engine optimization killer on YouTube.
But I prefer when it's a small mammal.
That's more your speed.
Yeah, I like a little guy.
It's cute that there is a craft element.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I do like to imagine that the hamster did it himself.
We all do.
Yeah. No, he's really good with scissors.
I don't know if I want a hamster to have
John, okay. How about like a crab, but he's got scissors, and you're like, why? What the fuck? And he's like, gonna snip you. Come here.
And like he's real. Come here. Why is he so mad? Where did he get the scissors?
What's the point? You've got 2 of them and you're fucking... What the fuck are you gonna snip it? I'm gonna get you. Oh my. See, there you go, everyone. Just a nice mental image.
There you go. Let that take you away as the music for the podcast ends. Any final thoughts, Steve?
Dream of that aggressive crab
with the scissors.
Yeah, with the scissors.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Get tucked into bed. Put on your pajamas. Dream of us.
Put on your pajamas in the bed.
Yeah.
Because don't do that.
That's a crazy person thing to do.
It might be cold outside of blankets.
Night.